Is it worth it? I mean, it's worth it. Put my thing
down,
down,
flip
flip
it
it
in
in reverse. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hit the Books Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Holcomb.
I'm Emery Saunders.
And I'm Nick Marlatt.
And we're here.
My name.
Marlatt.
Marlatt.
And we're here to bring you all the nerdy news you need to know about this week. For those of you unfamiliar with the show, each week we go through every news topic of the day, of the week, of the month,
of the year,
and put it right in your ear holes. If that sounds like a good time, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Remember, you can always find us at HTBVids on Twitter, /HitTheBooks on Facebook, at HTBVids.com, and you can always email us to suggest questions for the show, submit your lewd Sonic the Hedgehog fan art.
Edgy the Hedgy.
No, the last thing we need is lewd and edgy together, because you don't want to go down that road.
That is exactly what we need.
It's all we need.
Oh my god.
So please submit your fan art, or any other suggestions or constructive criticisms, or partnership deals, etc. Of course, you can also find Those Natural Ones on twitch.tv /Those Natural Ones every Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Anything to build on there?
No, we just had a fantastic session. Fantastic episode, which is also on our Facebook, or not our Facebook, our YouTube, which will be linked down below this. You can also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Those Natural Ones. Yeah.
And of course, if you're not familiar, that's their weekly Dungeons and Dragons stream.
It's Dungeons and Dragons.
I wish you would have done that last week when we talked about Dungeons and Dragons 1 for like an hour.
The most D&D news that's been announced in like 6 years.
Yeah.
And it all came out in 1 week.
It sure did.
Yeah. Also, like, we can't even really do that joke anymore. It's gone Hollywood now.
Yeah. Now it's not cool anymore.
No,
It's
that's
not
the thing.
cool anymore, guys.
No, that's the thing. It is cool now, which may or may not be a problem.
It's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now.
As long as they don't fourth edit up again.
Look, we tried to make it a video game one time.
Yeah, let's not do that again, please.
Hey, you get your digital tabletop, though, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And your Meebos.
Meebos.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep, all of the monies.
Well, before we get into what we've been doing this week, I wanted to bring up something we forgot to bring up at the beginning of last episode. For my birthday, because it's my birthday.
A week ago.
My brother got me an autographed picture of Sir Pat Stew. Yes, we know him. We're friends with him. We're cool. We hang out. Sir Pat
we
Stew.
totally
The
know
captain.
him on a personal level.
And we have decided the best way to honor Sir Pat Stew is to put him right front and center
The captain.
so that you can all
The
look
professor.
upon him.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Some might think that this is a Bob replacement. Nay, it is not. Bob can never be forgotten.
Nor can he be replaced.
But Pat Stew will be a welcome and wonderful addition to our tabletop. We hope you all appreciate him as much as we do. And thank you, Dan. That was a wonderful gift. And now we can finally jump into the show. What have you guys been up to?
Killing people. in D&D. Not legitimate.
I'm glad you elaborated. I was wondering how much editing I would have to do.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was... God, this is going to sound even weirder. I was there when it happened.
Yeah.
Accessory to the crime.
It's like, I saint it.
I'll saint it. I'll saint it.
So, care to elaborate?
Yeah. We had an extremely suspenseful and
Tense.
episode this past week where one player unfortunately lost their brain in an unfortunate mind flayer accident.
Ooh, yeah.
But they were able to come back. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched the episode yet. Go watch that because it's fantastic. And then come back and listen to us.
Of course, you can find that on YouTube, and you can find the link in the description. Shameless plug. Thank you.
Shameless plug. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of planning went into that episode, and that's basically all I did prior to. And then all I did afterwards is try and figure out what the fuck I'm going to do next week.
The true sound of a DM. Like, oh my god, that went so well and everything happened according to plan. Now what?
Now I just have to do it again, but bigger.
Now you've set an impossible standard that you must live up to.
Always has to
It's all
get
downhill
bigger.
from here.
It always has to be bigger. Fuck
See-
that, we're doing a shopping episode for the next 3 weeks.
You can always introduce a pirate named Edgy the Hedgy.
No. Okay, maybe if someone donates in the Twitch chat for like $500.
Yes, if you donate $500 into our Twitch chat, I will absolutely create an NPC named Edgy the Hedgy.
You can also just mail us, $5,000 worth of cocaine. About those edits, though.
Right, about those edits, I would like to apologize to both the FBI and CIA handler who is watching us currently. Could you please just overlook this one? It's all jokes.
Just go back to last episode and listen to our balls segment. There's some real crime in there.
Yeah, truly something worthy of Homeland Security look over.
Anything else?
I actually finished watching the 3rd season of Doom Patrol. Oh my god.
Now, compared to the other seasons, what did you think? I haven't watched season 3 yet, but it's on my to-do list, as all things are.
Yeah.
Season 1, I really loved. Season 2, I was like, okay, it's getting a little too goofy. What did you think of season 3?
Season 3, I think they, in some cases, maintained the goofy, in some cases, pulled back on it. Because there's a lot of moments in the show that have a whole lot of heart to them. And quite a bit of that show is like these characters getting down to the core of what makes them them. Mm-hmm. And then, as they do, like in the final couple episodes, they have to come together as a team because they're the Doom Patrol.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of how you do it. And it all does come together, but this time we're diving into the Brotherhood of Evil.
The Brotherhood of Mutants, you mean?
Weird corollaries between the Doom Patrol and X-Men aside. Yeah, the Brotherhood of Evil is...
Evil.
When I tell you that they're somewhere between being something worthy of being featured in like an X-Men show and also being like right next to something that I would say is like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers worthy, it's they straddle that line the entire fucking time.
That's great.
And that's before we get to evil French Harambe.
What did you just say to me?
Watch season 3 of Doom Patrol.
There's even weirder stuff in season 2 of Doom Patrol. if you want to see,
I don't know what's worse.
A giant rat fall in love. I don't want to go any further. But
what the fuck is going on right now?
it's an amazingly fucked up show.
It's the kind of show that you can only find on HBO Max.
And it's one of the few times that doing cocaine comics does something right because they're doing cocaine. That's Doom Patrol.
Right.
Wow.
This is Doom Patrol is the example of bonkers done right.
Okay. Interesting.
Anything else for you, Emery?
God, I think there was like one other thing that I had done. I wouldn't say like maybe it was a game or something.
But nothing significant, I'm assuming.
Nothing significant.
Well,
Otherwise, I
you
would have
were
remembered.
running your own show, your own
That's right.
your own campaign.
Yeah.
now.
That. As I'm sure all of you, like all three of you who are watching this episode, have caught on to, we're in a D&D campaign. I DM'd for him before this time that he's DMing for me.
Yes.
But on the side, I'm now DMing another campaign. That's it's a private campaign, unless they ever want to take it public. It's an all Feywild campaign where it takes place in the Fey realm, where it's the summer, winter, autumn, and spring courts. And it's done in the storytelling style of somewhere between Bridgerton and Game of Thrones.
That's an interesting dynamic to achieve in a Dungeons and Dragons game.
It is, and it was also the dynamic that they were asking for, and I somehow gave it to them.
that's the genius of D&D is the fact that you can literally do whatever the fuck you want. You can create any like setting or character interaction because of how incredibly open it is.
Yeah, and mind you, coming soon to that campaign is I'm probably going to end up doing like a Pride and Prejudice and Zombies episode. I don't know when,
Excellent.
but it's coming.
Yeah.
So that surprises me that both of you Game of Thrones nerds haven't talked about the new episode.
I have not watched it yet. It is
I
on
also
my list.
haven't watched it yet.
I did, however, watch the first episode of She-Hulk.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
I haven't seen the newest episode, which came out yesterday.
I have.
At time of recording.
Yeah.
First episode, it was all right. I mean, it was
Yeah.
good. I enjoyed it. Was it the best thing I've watched? No. Was it entertaining? Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, I will say I liked the second episode better than the first one, if for no other reason than, let's at least try to get to the meat of this story, which is supposed to be big green lawyer lady.
Yeah, the first episode was definitely a little slow. It was, I mean, your stereotypical first episode of a season, especially on a brand new character.
Yeah.
A lot of backstory, not necessarily backstory, but a lot of just build up. So,
Establishing the character.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
All right, great. Well, I obviously haven't watched it because I gave up on Game of Thrones the moment I realized the books were never going to finish. Anyway, I have heard a lot of good things about it, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I also have heard good things about the House of the Dragon, or as it's been acronymed online, Hot D.
So hot.
Whoa.
Hey, this is the name they went with.
Yeah, I'll try and watch it this week. So
I do think it's funny how it's coming out just before the Lord of the Rings show,
Of
and they're
course it
going to
is.
be competing with each other.
Absolutely.
Which is
Actively
just totally
competing.
unnecessarily, but okay.
of course it is.
For me, I was pretty busy because we recorded a little late last week, but I did get to Sandman episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was a great way to have like a mid-season climax.
Yeah.
They basically finished out the John Dee / Dr. Destiny story from the comic in pretty great fashion. Like they actively improved that story from the comic. They really did. I am so much more encouraged after watching that episode than I was in the first 4 episodes. Granted, I was enjoying the first 4 episodes. But like I said, they were making changes that I weren't sure were the right direction. Like they took out Edrigan as the Gate Guardian in Hell. These are small things. They obviously swapped John Constantine with Joanna Constantine, which we've talked about to death at this point, which I don't think was the right decision. But apparently there's still some kind of rights issues. They didn't use Arkham Asylum for John Dee, as far as the mental institution he starts at,
Yeah.
which gave a lot of cool things in the comic where he's talking to Arkham inmates that we all know and recognize.
I think Batman does briefly make a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter later in the comic makes a cameo.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Like,
So there's a lot of things that they took out that I think would have gave him a lot of brand recognition. But episode 5 was the opposite, where they really made it a more succinct story and made it more impactful by doing so. So fucking good. So a 10 out of 10 episode. And the funny thing is it barely featured the main character. The main character showed up for like 5 minutes at the very end.
oh,
Yeah.
Right, because it's as you continue to go through that show, you will see, like much like in the books, that that character, that main character, the Sandman, is much more about serving and maintaining his function than he is about like really branching out beyond that, because like he knows exactly who he is, he knows exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and his entire impetus is to go out and do the thing that he was prevented from doing for a solid 100 years.
Yeah, it's great, man. I'm so enthusiastic about this season going forward. I mean, honestly, I'm going to spend this weekend just like fucking going at it while I'm putting furniture together for the baby.
Oh my god, episode 6 though. Oh,
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I need to get on this.
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
Please do.
Yeah.
Just to tell us what you think of episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is, again, there are very rare instances of shows telling you what bonkers done right looks like.
Okay.
Sandman episode 1 is absolutely bonkers in the most ethereal way possible, and it fucking works.
I'm so happy.
It's
Like
so good.
I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about it right now. I love that episode so fucking much. Okay, moving on. We have a lot of news. Of course, this week was Gamescom week over in Germany. Gamescom is kind of
Germans.
low-key taken over the role that E3
Yeah.
once had. I mean, people have been, I say people, companies, big companies have been leaving E3 in droves, and then the pandemic just kind of sealed its fate.
Yeah.
It's still technically happening, but there's not much going on. Everybody's kind of having their own show sometime around E3. Like Nintendo,
Roughly,
Sony
yeah.
are both left. But there was a lot of games news. The funny thing is, for years, everybody's been asking for new games, new fresh products, new studios. Well, the pandemic kind of created the situation for that to
Right.
happen, because so many developers left their parent companies to
Right.
go do their own thing. And now there's a bunch of new things, but the problem now is there's no brand recognition.
Yeah.
And like it's so hard to get excited
know-
for something you don't know.
I've talked about it before about the golden age of video games in the 90s and the Wild West and everything, and this actually kind of makes me excited because it's almost like a resurgence of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're no longer just seeing the next Call of Duty, the next Madden, the next God of War, and the next fucking, Assassin's Creed game come out. There's like new shit that actually looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
And resurgence of really old titles, which also makes me excited.
Yeah, like you said, there's a resurgence of old titles in the form of sequels we didn't expect. You would expect
That we
sequels
never,
like
yeah.
Battlefield 6 or
But
a Modern Warfare 2.
But
blah,
a
blah,
Monkey Island game.
Yeah.
What?
blah. Yeah.
From out of nowhere.
Yeah, we'll get into it. There's a lot though. So normally I would read off show notes to get us going and then kind of let us breeze through it. But there is so much to talk about that we're going to use some aid. Give a shout out to gameshub.com/news because they lined everything up very neatly and easily to digest. So thank you to them. Be sure to check them out. This is in no particular order, so things could be super big or super small. Obviously, we're starting out super small, as you guys can see on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, what were you saying?
I was going to bring up one specific game, but we can wait until we get there.
Okay.
Because there's one game here that is another who the fuck asked for this, but also I'm a little excited about it.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
So first up is Moving Out 2. This is a sequel to the original Moving Out that was a small indie party game, essentially. It's a chaotic local multiplayer. What was the cooking game? Overcooked?
Overcooked.
It seems very similar to that. It's just moving stuff instead of cooking stuff. But looks bonkers.
When
Yeah.
menial tasks become entertainment.
Yep.
More like when games try to activate your PTSD. Oh my god.
The one thing no one wants to do. You want to relive that?
Like again?
This is being published.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're still in this. I thought you were done with that one. I was skipping the next one. I'm excited. Shut the fuck up.
But this is being published by Team 17 and is going to launch in 2023 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. And this is one of the very few Switch games.
Yeah.
So congrats, Switch.
I'm actually surprised at how many last-gen consoles.
Yeah, this was
You
going to
know?
be a point I brought up towards the end, but yeah, it's almost annoying at this point that they're
It's
still
kinda
downgrading
surprising.
everything.
Oh, there's a reason that I can think of in terms of Sony, but we're gonna get to that after we get through all these
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. But the fact is, it's annoying. I'll let you know later.
Oh yeah.
I got it in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So Nick, I'll let you
Yes.
take the lead on
The
this
Return to Monkey Island release date announced for less than a month away on September 19th of 2022. This is a series that I absolutely fucking loved when I was a kid. Classic LucasArts adventure style games. And I watched the trailer for this one as soon as I could, and it's interesting to me because I'm not sure where they're going with this, because there was a lot of remakes of the original game in there, so I'm not sure if they're going for a full remake or if this is a sequel.
Yeah, it's a little vague, honestly, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough.
The funniest
Coming out
part,
3 weeks.
Yeah. The best part about this game is because Monkey Island has always been very tongue-in-cheek and very humorous. And the fact that if you pre-order this game, you get horse armor. There's
useless horse armor.
And they specifically say that this item has no use and does not impact the game whatsoever. It just sits in your inventory.
I just love that they had to explicitly say that at the end of the trailer.
Completely useless horse armor.
For your inventory.
And of course they have, I think his name is Steve, the boat salesman, who's doing the, which anybody who has played any of the original Monkey Island games will remember, Stu. It's Stu, and his incredibly awkward arm flailing sales pitches.
But yeah, it looks great. Definitely interested in it. Like you said, it comes out on September 19th of this year, and it's being published by Devolver Digital, which got the rights to that. It's coming out on PC and Nintendo Switch initially.
Sorry, Stan S. Stansman. Not Stu, not Steve.
We got it
Stan.
eventually, right?
Yeah.
It's an S name.
It was Stan's Used Boats in the first one, and I think in the third one it was Stan's Used Coffins.
Oh,
And he
my
sold
God.
used coffins.
Yeah. Next up on the news, we finally got a release date for Dead Island 2, which was long assumed dead.
Yeah, I thought
Ironically,
this was vaporware like 10 years ago.
Yeah. We did receive a nice flashy CG trailer for it. That was, stylistic fun. But I don't know about this game.
No
Yeah.
gameplay. The first one I have issues with because I was never able to finish it because it got borrowed from me and never returned after I had it for like a week. So I don't know much about the Dead Island series.
Do we need to call someone out on the show?
Ooh.
Do we need to publicly shame somebody?
Ooh.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it unfortunately never got to play the game.
God damn it, Bob. You son of a bitch. Give my game back. I don't know if it was Bob. Probably was, though.
We'll go with Bob. That's a good.
I mean, he's dead. It's not like we'll hurt his feelings. He's in a trash can somewhere.
I'm sure it's fine. He's not,
Chemically melted.
yeah, he's not gonna like haunt us or anything, right?
Right?
Right. Anyway,
But Dead Island 2 will officially be coming February 3rd of next year, 2023. So look forward to that. It'll be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC via the Epic Game Stores. Sorry, Steam players.
More backwards compatibility.
Hooray!
Next up, PlayStation announced a PS5 DualSense Edge controller, which is essentially a Pro controller. It's highly modifiable. They got 2 extra buttons on the back that you can modify. You can modify the depths of the buttons, of the sticks, of the triggers. Basically do all the typical things you would do on a high-end Pro controller. They have not released a date for it, nor have they released prices, but we can expect that in the near future. It is annoying how long it took. I mean,
yeah.
It seems like such an easy way to make big bucks,
Right.
on accessories.
There's a... It's ironic that they chose now to announce a new, like, super elite controller with all of these modification possibilities that we're going to get into soon. It's coming up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Next up on the news, Sonic Frontiers gets a release date. It can be expected this year on November 8th, 2022. So that's good to see.
I don't know how I feel about this game. This was interesting. Like, part of me is super curious about this, and then part of me is like, what the fuck are you doing to Sonic?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. That's exactly how I feel about this. I mean, Sonic has been, generally speaking, going in the correct direction after all of these years. We had like 2 decades of garbage in between the original Genesis games, and
This
now.
is like existential Sonic, and there's like deep plot line. I have never seen.
Yeah, it's like Shadow of the Colossus Sonic Edition.
I don't know how I feel about deep plot with my Sonic. It's like the peanut butter and jelly commercial,
Yeah, I will say, like, in recent history, this is recent. It's almost 10 years ago now, I think. But Sonic Generations was the game that really like reinvigorated my love of the franchise. I have a really special place in my heart for Sonic 2 in particular.
Oh, Sonic 2 was fantastic.
And, obviously there's Sonic 3, Sonic Knuckles, Sonic CD. But Generations really gave me hope that there's hope for both a 3D Sonic and a 2D Sonic to exist and be fun to play. And it looks like, based on the long trailers and gameplay trailers we're seeing, we're getting both. We're getting 2D Sonic and 3D Sonic just in this weird open world environment.
It looks fun. It looks exciting with the gameplay that I saw. Like you said, it's the first time that I've seen a 3D Sonic game that actually looks entertaining to play and fast-paced and not glitchy as all fuck.
Yeah.
And then you get into the whole backstory and the plot line, and that's where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what is this? What? What?
You want to feel some existential dread?
Yeah.
Via Sonic and his chili dogs?
Sonic, you can't run forever. What the fuck are you talking about? It is a fucking Sonic game.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck else are you doing if you're not fucking running if you're Sonic? Oh my god.
I think the thing that grounded it a little bit for me and made me a little less conflicted about it is the fact that they had like that short scene at the end where Amy's like locked in some kind of pod. Clearly, okay, so there are going to be the core characters returning in some way, shape, or form. You'll probably have to like free them and unlock them. But because all the initial trailers and the former footage was just like empty and quiet.
Yeah.
And that was my big concern, because Sonic's like
eerie.
a high energy, loud music, obnoxious,
absolutely.
super colorful, like fast-paced game.
And then you're putting this dark and gritty plot line underneath it.
Yeah.
And one thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did not see Robotnik anywhere in this trailer.
Nope. They don't. I don't know if there's any cameos, but they don't. They don't seem to have them anywhere.
How are you gonna do a Sonic game without Robotnik in it?
I'm almost certain he's going to appear as a.
My guess is
background villain.
My guess is that robot, that like android-esque character that he's quote unquote fighting in there is going to be controlled by
chaos.
robots.
It's like either controlled by chaos or controlled by Robotnik, or. And this would be a very controversial thing to do with the story.
Edgy the Hedgy?
No, not Edgy the Hedgy, goddammit. Never.
HitTheBooksVids at gmail.com.
No.
Please and thank you.
Don't you do it. It would be super controversial if Robotnik wasn't in this game at all, or if, to go along with the "you can't run forever" Sonic, what if Robotnik died?
So we're
That's
supposed to
too-
feel conflicted about Robotnik literally dying, and Sonic is working through his grief by hallucinating this frontier.
I mean,
My brain hurts.
Yeah, we're gonna have Wakanda forever mourning the loss of the Black Panther. And
no.
now we're
Oh my
gonna have
God.
Robotnik on the side.
Oh.
I think I just had an aneurysm.
No child, don't cry.
Oh no! Where is Tails? What happened to Tails?
You tell me right now, you son of a bitch! But of course, this is coming via Sega and will be released on all of the major platforms: PS4, PS5, One, Series X, PC, and Nintendo Switch. There you go, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
Getting a little something.
yeah, a little bit of something.
Okay, next up, this one I'm pretty excited for. We're getting new Tales from the Borderlands, which is literally a new Tales of the Borderlands game. Emphasis on that comma there.
Really, because it looks like they're emphasizing new Borderlands, and Tales from the is getting like a backseat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how it's going to control it because Tales hasn't made Telltale has not made a new game in quite a while.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. They had that whole issue where they basically went cash poor because they didn't own the rights to any of their projects, and they had to remove a bunch of stuff from game stores because they lost the rights to all of these proprietary things.
That's why you don't make only licensed products.
Yep.
And so they're going to continue making only licensed products.
Have we learned nothing?
Apparently not. So they licensed this Gearbox property so that they can make another Tales game. Why not?
Sure. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works.
Yeah, it seems I didn't recognize anybody from the new trailer. Like usually they at least have cameos from, Borderlands 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize anybody. Did you?
No, and it seems like that might be the focus, is bringing in new characters.
And it seems like it's happening on a new planet too. It doesn't seem like the same planet.
I mean, God, when they emphasize new in the title card, that I think
They mean it.
They really fucking mean it. It's like they'll give you like the distinguishable insignia on like a mask or something like that, but it seems like they're emphasizing new.
Yep. And this one is another surprise, quick upcoming release for October 21st, 2022. And that will be on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, PC, on both Steam and Epic Game Store, and Nintendo Switch. So there you go. We got some more trailers for the Gotham Knights game coming up. It looks like it will be released on October 21st, 2022. This, of course, being made by the same makers of the Arkham series. I don't know how I feel about this.
I also don't know how I feel about this.
I wanna like it, but something about the art style and the animations just doesn't work. Like something's wrong. Something's off.
Yeah, there's something a little fucked up with what they're doing with Red Hood.
Yeah, nobody looks right. Like everybody looks weird. Like they have like way too much armor on. It's like the Transformers movies. Like they're doing too much.
Just
it
stop.
Seems like
just stop.
over-designed.
And even the villains they showed like Clayface and Mr. Freeze and Harley Quinn, and like they just all look weird. like they put like a bunch of dirt all over Harley Quinn for no apparent reason. And she has this like upside down heart mask on her face.
It's
I think that's a spade.
That one point,
Maybe.
I couldn't tell through the dirt.
it's like that one point when you're learning how to be an artist where you have to feel like you prove yourself, so you overdo everything, and then they just haven't come out of that phase yet, to the point where you realize that minimalism is usually better.
Yeah, it's worrying. I'm honestly more excited for the Suicide Squad game that's being made by the other branch of WB Studios. But
Considering you're a huge fucking Nightwing fan, that says a lot.
yeah, I mean, you may not know, but Nightwing is my favorite superhero character. Period.
Really?
I love Nightwing. Absolutely love Nightwing. I do not want to play this Nightwing. I'm very worried. I don't like his design in the game. I don't like how he talks in the trailers we've seen. I'm worried.
Why does this Nightwing look like his dad is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah,
I don't know what
so
it is,
weird.
but it's his face.
Yeah, yeah, and he's got the long, weird mask. It's so weird. It's aesthetically unpleasing.
Now,
I don't like it.
Now, mind you, there are they debuted in videos before Gamescom that there's going to be a shit ton of costumes,
Right?
And you can pick any look you want as long as you've got the costume available.
As long as you microtransaction and purchase it.
There's
But even,
almost definitely.
I don't know
gonna
if
be
you looked at them
microtransactions.
though, but even those are way over designed.
Y-
They're just adding armor and weird shit on them, lights all over their outfits when they're supposed to be reminiscent of.
So they're Fortniting it up.
They're Fortnite.
They're absolutely
that's
Fortniting it. The
Yeah.
second that they added the flying trapeze to Nightwing,
Yeah.
that fucking Fortnite drop-in machine that he gets to use.
Get
It's
the
so
fuck
weird.
out of here. Stop it. Fortnite. Stop invading everything else.
So yeah, you could look forward to that on October 21st, 2022. This one is exclusive for current gen systems, so PS5, Series X, and PC. So that's cool to see, but I'm worried.
Yeah, looking forward, I think, is strong language for this one.
The gameplay better be top notch,
Yeah.
because
It
that's
better
the
be.
only way it survives.
Yeah, the fact that it's co-op is supposed to be the entire hook for this game. And if it works, it's gonna fucking make gangbusters. But if it doesn't, it's gonna be another fucking laughing stock for WB.
Yeah. Now this next item is something a lot of people have been asking
This
for a
looks-
long time.
This trailer looked really good, and I'm actually kind of excited about this one.
Yep. So a lot of people have been asking for a legit Dead Space sequel or spiritual sequel for a long time, because most people didn't like Dead Space 3. It wasn't very reminiscent of the first two games.
Yeah.
So it kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But there was a breakaway studio from one of the makers of the Dead Space series at Striking Distance Studios, and they have announced the Callisto Protocol, which seems to be very much a zombie-focused Dead Space sci-fi horror.
Zombies on a
game.
space station is basically the feel I got from it.
Yep, you even got the health light on the back of the neck and the various gadgets. I mean, it's basically Dead Space.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked really good. I'm actually somewhat excited for this one.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Definitely will be big on the streaming, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody
it's
likes
gonna
the
be
spookies.
on the Twitch, the Twitches.
Yep, perhaps on twitch.tv/those natural ones.
Possibly, I might have to do a playthrough of this.
Oh shit.
It's expected.
Another off character.
Yep, another off-character episode. Be sure to tune in.
Absolutely. And of course, this is another surprise holiday release, December 2nd, 2022. We've been talking in recent weeks how there's nothing coming out for the holiday. There's a shit ton coming out for the holiday now.
I am surprised at all these games that they're like, hey, it's coming out next month, or hey, it's actually,
Yes.
a lot of the shit I hadn't even seen yet.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, by the way, this is coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
almost
what the
in
fuck?
September.
They're turning us into liars, because this is the absolute opposite of what we were saying a couple episodes ago, where everything is getting delayed. Now everything's just like, hey, surprise, it's here.
Now, there is something about that actually kind of worries me. And that's usually whenever a studio for a movie does something like this, they release one and only one trailer, maybe a month ahead of the release of the movie. And even more worryingly, if no one gets the chance to review it before the actual release date, that's usually a sign that these people know that their product is bad.
Are we putting the tinfoil hats on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
calling out all these games, including Sonic Frontiers.
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
that is a very valid concern, and yes, I would agree with you in some respect.
I hope I'm wrong.
However, the one thing that does give me pause on your theory is the fact that we talked about how a lot of these are small independent breakaway studios, which just might not have the money to produce trailers in advance
or buy ad space on E3
exactly,
other
or
big shows.
even
Tokyo Game Show.
buy, I don't want to say buy reviews, because that sounds like nobody would ever buy a review from someone ever.
No, why would anyone do that?
That never happens, especially video game companies. They never buy reviews. But they might not have the ability to send quality pre-production products out to reviewers to get that.
Yeah, that is true. That should be taken into consideration. I think, given that a lot of these are new titles with no brand recognition, as we mentioned before, it is really going to come down to people actually playing it and honestly just seeing what comes out in the wash.
Right, exactly. And I think that nowadays it's a little different because of the fact that we have things like Twitch and Facebook streaming and YouTube streaming and all of that, where you are going to see a lot of these, professional gamers pick up some of the, I wouldn't even call indie titles, but like these lower marketed titles.
Middle,
like a AA or something like that.
Like, you're going to see a lot, they're going to get a lot of press, and I bet you that they're betting on that. They're going to get a lot of press from people streaming this and people watching people stream these games, and then they're going to be like, oh shit, this looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to go download it.
Yeah. I just had a thought occur to my cynical brain. I'm going to put my aluminum foil hat on along with Emery.
Oh, boy.
I also wonder if perhaps they're just doing this to drum up pre-orders before they inevitably delay it.
Absolutely.
Oh!
Yeah.
Or we have another Cyberpunk issue where they're like, oh yeah, it comes out this day, and then it's broken, and it's like another 6 months before it's actually playable. Especially
with all these ones releasing on multiple systems.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta be concerned.
Now, mind you, I don't want to put that shadow of shady business dealing, given that a lot of these games don't have the preconceived track record of Cyberpunk, given that game was announced way too soon.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And,
it was.
It had the weird curse of being announced way too soon, but then when it finally actually got time to deliver it, it was still not done.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely fair acknowledgement there. Next up on the news, this one I actually thought looked really cool. Atlas Fallen has been announced. It is coming from the developers of Lords of the Fallen and The Surge. Lords of the Fallen will reappear here in a weird way. Developed by Deck 13. This seems to be some kind of, fantasy, almost Dune-like, magic warriors type of game where they're talking about fallen gods and battles of the past, and they're on this big, abysmal, sand-laden world, and they're using their magic to traverse the, sand dunes by, doing this cool sliding technique, which is pretty neat. The animation looked really cool. I really liked how it looked. The action looks fun. Really interested to see how this goes. Lords of the Fallen wasn't probably the most inspiring game. It was basically a soft-core Dark Souls ripoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then The Surge was a hardcore Dark Souls ripoff, but with the veneer of it's all tech-based.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it does well. It does look really cool, and this is one of the few games that's going to be exclusive on current-gen systems, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. So we shouldn't expect it to be compromised in any way. So that's very cool to see. And of course, as I mentioned, the Lords of the Fallen has been announced. It's very confusing because, yes, it has the same exact title as the game that preceded it.
You just put the in the front.
It is a sequel, not a reboot.
You mean oh, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel,
okay,
not
well,
a reboot.
My joke doesn't make sense then, because I was going to make a Suicide Squad joke, but that doesn't work if it's an actual sequel.
Well, your joke still kind of works because they still acknowledge that Suicide Squad happened. So, yeah.
Oh my
It
god,
works.
that actually works way better now that I think about it. That's damn near a 1-for-1. It's like, okay,
In fact, minor spoiler alert for the James Gunn Suicide Squad. They kill off most of the Suicide Squad from the first movie in the first
Fantastic.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Horrendous, amazing fashion.
I still refuse to watch that movie because the first one.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it. Ignore the first one. I know it's terrible, but James Gunn, just you gotta watch it. Idris Elba. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. It's too fucking good to avoid.
yeah.
Peacemaker, as you talked about. Oh,
Peacemaker
so good.
is
He's the best part.
Peacemaker
good.
is amazing and hilarious, but also you had really well done, or at the very least, well acted characters in.
Don't watch with your kids.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
Please
not.
don't.
Yeah.
It's R for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of all the characters, I didn't think that I would have any sympathy for a character like Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I decided
Dude,
not to
you
watch it.
you have no idea how good it is.
I
You
was
have
like,
to watch it.
this is fucking ridiculous, and I'm not sitting through this again.
I'm
No.
telling you, especially with your cynical sense of humor, you will die laughing at some points of
'Cause
this movie.
The only reason I watched the first Suicide Squad movie was because I was bored in a hotel room. And I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to watch this.
Nobody needs to watch that movie. Nobody needs to acknowledge it exists. Emery's a bastard because I avoided that movie successfully for years until he made me watch it by buying it as a Christmas present for me.
The only reason, and I will die on this stone, the only reason they made that movie was to get Harley Quinn topless, and you don't even see anything. It's a back shot of her when she's changing in the prison yard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know.
I hate
That
to
is
say,
the only reason they
Was
made
it-
the movie.
Plus, it was PG-13, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was PG-13. Hilariously, it's the movie that's rated R that actually has some restraint. I don't know how, but they did it.
Yeah. And you always have Wolf of Wall Street if you want to see her tits.
That's
so
true.
they
But
just-
I'm just saying, that
Right.
was literally feels like that was the only reason they wanted to move that, or I feel like that was the only reason they wanted to make that movie was
that
to make
absolutely was. Yeah.
a cheap joke about Harley Quinn being topless. in the
doing
middle of
cocaine
a
comics for
fucking
snorting
prison
coke
in
and
the
saying,
yard.
hey,
Yeah.
I want to see Robbie's tits.
Yeah.
Right.
You
See,
know, it's PG-13. That's all right.
That's all right.
son.
We'll see them. The
We'll be on
audience,
set.
the audience just can't see them.
Yeah, it's cringe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's never
Terrible.
talk about the first movie again.
Let's never talk about that
But let's
first movie
always
again.
talk about the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
See,
If you're an adult, go watch it.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad is better than, I would say, maybe 70 to 80% of what Marvel's put out. That's how good it is.
It's one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's ridiculous.
All right,
Well,
fine. I'll watch it
anti-hero.
at some point.
Yeah, I don't say that lightly.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It,
It's
like-
like Tropic Thunder levels of hilarious.
Fantastic.
It's so good.
Oh my God, Tropic Thunder. That is a really good analogy.
Yeah, it's right there with Tropic Thunder.
It's better than it has any right to be. It's
But yeah, rants
yeah.
aside, back to Lords of the Fallen. Yes, it's a sequel that is the same name as the original, so very confusing. But it's coming. Like we said, it's basically a Dark Souls sort of ripoff. That's a little bit easier. It will have the same co-op online multiplayer mechanic where you can invade each other's game and stuff like that. So
I hate that shit so much.
thankfully you can turn it off in most
Okay, that's
most
good.
games. Yeah. But it's annoying. It's extremely annoying.
Especially when you don't play for like 3 or 4 months and then
Yeah.
you come on
you
and
jump
like,
back in and
yeah.
someone immediately
The
invades
fuck
you.
out of here.
It is currently planned for sometime in 2023, although the exact date hasn't been announced. It will be coming to exclusively next-gen systems, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC via Steam. Next up, this is a big one. Dune is getting a survival MMO, Dune Awakening. It will be a survival MMO, which is sounds like a cool idea, but you gotta have people play it to really keep an MMO going. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
In additional news of things we never needed.
Yeah, it's being developed by Funcom, which is not a developer that a lot of people know. But it'll be throwing you on the planet Arrakis and encouraging you to build bases and survive and form alliances, that sort of thing. It kind of reminds me in the description of Ark Survival, like that type of thing where it ends up eventually becoming just YouTube poop. You know?
I mean, that's what this is going to turn into. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be, it's going to be really big for like a month, and then it's just going to degrade down into just ridiculous bullshit videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that has me both excited and deeply worried about this game is that it's being developed by the same people who made Conan Exiles.
Yeah.
Which, if you've played that game, one, you know how, real into the weeds that game gets when it comes to, the survival mechanics of, trying to mine and pick and craft all goddamn day just to build the thing that you want.
Yeah.
And to top all of that off, you're doing it in a landscape that's mostly empty unless you go out of your way to set up a server where maybe you'll have half or less than half of the people who join your server ever show up to play that game at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. MMOs are probably the most challenging game out there to develop and sustain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then an MMO survival game is just a whole nother level of ridiculous. Like MMORPGs, at least you don't have to worry about terrain changing and shit like that. You have a, base level, and then people just log on and fucking play that.
Yeah.
This, whenever you get into at least a decent survival game, you're dealing with resource management. You're dealing with the map literally changing constantly, depending on mining, depending on building, and everything like that.
And it seems like they're going to have the giant sandworms too, which I'm sure will be some kind of landscape mechanic, travel mechanic, etc.
Yeah. So it's a lot. That is a fucking lot, and it's probably going to suck. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it right now. This game is probably going to be terrible because they are trying to put way too much into an MMO, and it's probably going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing that has me worried is for the trailer, they show a random Fremen, but you hear the fear is the mind killer litany that you would, the entire thing that you would read directly from the book. Which is weird because the only time you ever hear that is from the character Paul Atreides, which I'm almost certain no one's ever going to be able to play because the point of this game seems like you are building from the ground up before even the Harkonnens show up, or maybe even while the Harkonnens are there and before the Atreides family line, tries and fails.
That was a lot of words for somebody who's never watched or read a Dune book.
Oh no, I read the book recently.
Yeah. He's a big fan, and then my brother-in-law is also a big fan. So I learned by proxy.
Yeah. My dad was always a huge Dune fan. So, but I never really got into it. I still want to watch the new movie. I just have not had a chance to.
At this point, I would say maybe just wait until a week before the part 2 comes out because
that's fair.
That first part 1, it's very obviously a part 1.
Right. That's fair.
All right, moving on. And if I didn't mention it already, it's coming to next-gen systems exclusively and PC. So PS5, Series X, PC. All right. I shouldn't call it next-gen. It's current-gen.
Yeah.
We're 3 years into
here.
it.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Next up, Hogwarts Legacy got a much more story-based trailer, finally. Kind of outlining, it seems like there's going to be some kind of instructor, and you're going to be responsible for fucking something up horribly. And it's probably going to be your quest through the game to fix it.
Was this the same game you were talking about last week?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. This trailer gave me a little more hope because it does look a lot more streamlined. It doesn't look like it's quite and I'm sure this is a small bit of it, but my biggest concern last week was through everything you were saying that they were just trying to add too much into one game.
Yeah.
This seems like they might have streamlined it a little bit from that initial theory. However, I could be way off. This could just be like one small snippet.
Yeah.
But it does look a lot more refined. The graphics kind of look like they came out 10 years ago, but the storyline...
Again,
at
it's
least,
a mobile developer, so
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
shocked that it looked as good as it did.
I mean, even in that picture right there, you can see
Yeah.
the polygons on his cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His robe, not his cloak. But no, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent.
Yeah, I'm still excited for it. It did get delayed till 2023. It was supposed to come out this holiday season, but it's currently coming out February 10th, 2023. Unfortunately, it will be on old systems, so it's probably partially why the graphics aren't looking top-notch.
Right.
PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC. They say a Nintendo Switch version is planned for a later date, but I am doubtful.
Yeah, we'll see. They'd
and
have to do a lot of downscaling for that.
Yeah.
And also, it's still a fairly early rendering. This could have just been a quick rendering for Gamescom. The
Sure.
actual graphics might be higher res.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up on the news, Everywhere has been announced at Gamescom, coming from developer Build a Rocket Boy, who is famously a former head of Rockstar North, who did Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto games. I think it's a terrible title. I think they told us nothing with the trailer. I have no idea what the fuck this is supposed to be, but it has a big name attached to it. Should have some clout. It shows a lot of different environments. It shows a lot of different activities, using aircrafts and running and shooting and all sorts of different things.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, everything, all at once.
It's the metaverse.
That I was gonna make that fucking correlation, motherfucker.
Sorry.
But you got to it first. But you know what? We're here.
My
We're
bad.
here.
My bad.
Metaverse. It sounded like they were trying to build their own metaverse, but we're gonna market this as Metaverse, brought to you by someone from Rockstar who may have been involved in some of the games that you like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's a great sum.
Yeah.
It looks interesting, maybe? It's just too vague. I have no idea what the fuck it is.
Even say anything on it.
Yeah, if there's any phrase that should give you pause, it's the make your own fun, tell your own story.
Yeah, so this is literally the epitome. They're trying to do the epitome of a sandbox game. This is going to be Second Life all over again,
Yep.
or the metaverse, or anything like that, where they're literally just going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. We don't want to actually make a plot line, so we're going to give you some tools to make your own fucking plot line.
Have fun, I guess.
Some people might like that. I don't know. I think it's lazy. I don't know.
I think they had the money to hire a writer, and they just didn't.
Here's the thing. Rockstar clearly is known for sandbox open world games. Clearly. This guy comes from Rockstar. He was clearly one of the engineers that worked on the sandbox aspect and not one of the writers that worked on the plot line.
Probably. And I mean, he was an
Yeah.
executive, so how much developing is
Okay,
he really doing?
fair.
Fair. Just, I think these are fair thoughts.
Yeah.
fair worries to bring up.
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out, but from the very little that they gave us to go on, I'm going to say right now it doesn't sound like something that'd be for, at least for me.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. There's no release date expected or anything like that, so
Vaporware.
we'll look forward to more news in the future.
Vapor everywhere.
I'm going to put it out right now. My assumption is this game will never be released.
Could be.
This is going to be vaporware.
Could be.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Next up on the news, Wordsong has been announced from former Fallout developers from Bethesda. This is a teaser that was kind of a hand-drawn animation. It's basically a game that's set in a reimagined occult kind of Dark Ages. It's set to be, your typical Bethesda style RPG. From the announcement and from the discussion about it, although they have not given out many details, including release dates or platforms. So you can look forward to that in the far future. If they're anything like Bethesda, we probably won't see it for 6 or 7 years. So
It'll be ready when it's ready.
But when it comes out, it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to have like 100 hours worth of content.
Probably. I wish they would have shown even like a snippet of what the game's supposed to look like.
They would, but they haven't done the artwork yet.
The hand-drawn animation is just
That's all they got.
It's weird. It's just like a figure that's been drawn there with like a rotating moon.
That's
and
all
you're
we
like,
got. That's all we got.
Okay.
We've got early stages.
Yeah, we've got concept art, guys. Get hyped.
If you're that early, maybe don't release a trailer.
No, absolutely. But there was some executive that was like, or it was probably like one of their financial backers was like, we will give you $2 million, but you need to release a trailer at Gamescom. So they had like half of their art staff like, oh shit, overnight in like, the last 48 hours sketching down these fucking trailers just to make this deadline for this one financial backer.
And potentially also just drumming up new investment, because they don't have enough investment.
Exactly.
Totally a possibility. So we'll see what happens with that. Lies of P.
This might be the single weirdest thing I've seen.
It's very weird.
This game is actually, from what I've seen on the internet, this was the belle of the ball at Gamescom.
Yeah. So Lies of P is a Pinocchio game
that is inspired by Dark Souls.
Yeah. So it looks very reminiscent of like a steampunk version of Bloodborne.
This is
which is like a Victorian era.
Yeah.
This is probably the weirdest thing that I saw.
And I'm fucking here for it. Oh my god, this game. Yeah. From what I could see from the trailer, it looked like there's going to be like several different like replaceable like arm attachments. Mm-hmm. It looks like at the very least the combat seems very Dark Souls inspired. And it looks like a lot of the majority of enemies are going to have a puppet theme going on them. To go along with the whole, your main character is Pinocchio. And at the end of, after the credits play, we're going to have this last bit that shows a bunch of villains pulling a coffin with the word liar on the inside.
Yeah, not only do I get Bloodborne vibes, obviously the steampunk initiative, but I get strong BioShock vibes too.
Oh,
narratively.
Yeah. It's weird. It's kooky. Yeah. I'm here for it. And I don't know why they decided to go with let's give our main character the Timothée Chalamet face. I mean, I get it. Dune's really hot right now, but guys, come on.
This next one's the one that I was going to...
Okay. And, of course, that'll be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and will be a Xbox Game Pass subscription service exclusive for a little while. So look forward to that for you Xbox fanboys and girls. Again, kind of disappointing that it's still on old systems in 2023, but so be it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, this next game, I have to ask you a question. Have you ever thought, you know what I really want? I want a video game based off of a movie that they used to play on Comedy Central every single day in the mid-90s.
No.
Then you don't want Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the video game.
No, you talked about Mystery Science Theater last week.
Yeah.
Killer Clowns is that sort of movie.
Yeah, it is. The fact, I just remember back in the 90s, fucking, it was one of those movies where Comedy Central played like every single day for like 6 months. And, well, it was terrible to begin with. And now it's...
Cheap rights.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's 2022, and they're about to come out with a Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game.
Yeah.
Just when you thought it was gone, it comes back.
I think it's actually, at its base idea, probably a good idea if you can get the rights cheap enough.
Yeah.
But when you read the description of the gameplay, it's an asymmetrical 3v7 online multiplayer game.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That pits killer clowns against humans.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what this game is. It's reskinned Dead by Daylight.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
But why? Why? Why are we making a video game about a cheap, shitty 80s quote-unquote horror movie right now?
Yeah.
Because RoboCop
Because
is being made into a game.
Nostalgia is big, right?
Nobody is nostalgic for this.
Exactly! That's my point! RoboCop makes sense! Fucking Killer Clowns from Outer Space does not make sense! This is fucking stupid! Why are we doing this?
Okay, is WB responsible for this? Because
Probably.
I'm pretty
no,
sure
this is straight from DC Comics. This is the fucking brains of doing cocaine.
Someone had to have been on a whole lot of booger sugar for this one.
Well, speaking of booger sugar, it's being developed by Colombian studio Tetravision.
oh no!
And being published by Good Shepherd Entertainment. Another interesting point about this,
We literally walked right into that one.
you're welcome. The directors of the original film, the Chiodo brothers, are going to serve as executive producers of the game.
Oh, yay!
So you got the Chiodo brothers and the Colombian studio making a Killer Clowns from Outer Space the game.
I'm done. I
Oh
quit.
my god.
I fucking quit. I'm done.
It's so ridiculous. It's awesome.
Oh my god.
And it's probably going to fail horrendously, but I'm interested to see what happens.
I feel like it would have been smarter to just have a Killer Clowns event on the already established Dead by Daylight game.
Right?
This is slated for early 2023. It will be coming on PC via Steam, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series 1 and Series X. So there you go. The game you've all been waiting for.
The game that absolutely no one's been waiting for. Don't you dare.
This is how you know everybody's just running out of shit to bring back. We've brought everything back.
Bring back balls. Don't bring back Killer
We
Clowns.
need balls. See episode
Balls
62
3D.
for context.
Yes, that's right.
All right, next up we have the finals announced by more former developers, this time of the Battlefield series. This is coming from new studio Embark Studios. It seems to be, although we only see a kind of a brief trailer, it seems to be a game show shooter that has fully destructible environments, much like the Battlefield series is known for. Looked interesting. Looked like it could be fun. Could be a fun multiplayer idea to have like a game show knockoff system. And I mean, they're using legit guns.
Right.
So it's like, it is Battlefield, but
I mean,
a little bit more Fortnited.
It's no Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair, dog.
This announcement makes me mad. And I'm going to tell you why. The game Rollerdrome just came out. A game where you are a contestant in what is supposed to be the deadliest game imaginable. A fight to the death against a whole bunch of other gunners, and you're on roller skates.
Are you saying this isn't the most original idea you've ever heard of? Is this not Armageddon?
It's son of a bitch.
Deep Impact. Wow. There we go.
It keeps happening.
Or let's talk about The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting, or the house. Sorry, it was The House on Haunted Hill and The Haunting,
and The Haunting, or The Haunting of Hill House. God damn it, guys! How is it that we keep having several different people come to the same conclusion about a game idea?
Honestly, I think this is what happens. I think, especially with how long these development cycles go, I bet you these are just like a bunch of groups of developers that hang out together all the time in San Francisco or wherever else.
Yep.
And then they talk about stuff they're thinking about and coming up with ideas while they're drunk with their buddies. And then they all like independently go back to their bosses and go, I got this great idea.
Or it's, Bob works for Studio A. He gets pissed. He leaves Studio A and goes to work for Studio B.
Totally
and
possible.
He's like, hey, I got this fucking fantastic idea. It's about a game show where you shoot people.
Yeah.
I'll
These
make my
fucks
own-
over here were fucking up my idea. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'll make my own game show shooter with blackjack and hookers.
But there's no release data on this. There's no platform data, but they will be having their play testing on PC via Steam in the near future. So should expect that information sooner rather than later.
So is this going to be a forever beta?
It could totally be a forever beta, yes.
I'm almost certain they're like furiously getting rid of their Tony Hawk mechanics that Rollerdrome has.
Next up, China has a big release. Where Winds Meet is a new open-world fantasy action game set in historical China during the Northern Song Dynasty. This is coming via, where's that studio? Everstone Games.
Everstone Games.
Maybe. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for this one.
I have a real bad joke for this. I have a really bad joke.
Oh, God. Hit us with it.
Okay.
Before I ruin it.
Let's see. This game is called Where Winds Meet. My question is, where Uyghurs at?
Oh, God. Oh. And YouTube just erased us.
And you're done.
Yeah.
Strike. Yeah, copyright strike, weirdly from Disney.
That got dark. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool. It has a very strong like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon vibe to it, where like people are like,
running up bamboo.
corny,
and shit.
corny kung fu movie flying through the air with their swords jutting out and stuff.
Yeah, this definitely has a very heavy wuxia style film like aesthetic to it, which it's very pretty.
Yeah, and I think following a theme that we've seen with a lot of these new games that are being announced, it looks kind of rough though, like graphically.
It might just be an early trailer.
It looks like PlayStation 3,
right.
Xbox 360 era.
Yeah.
I
mean, it could be budget of smaller studios. It could be the fact that this is a early trailer, because you said this does not have a release date yet, right?
No release date.
Yeah.
Only platform announced is PC.
Oh yeah. So this could very easily be another like 3 years out, and this is just a very early rendering.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this doesn't look anywhere nearly as done as another game coming from
Killer
China.
Clowns from Outer Space.
No, China is not producing that one.
So polished.
Way more polished than it ever really needed to be. There's another game coming from China called Black Myth Wukong that
Bless you.
Son of a bitch. No matter what I have to say about China, and I've got a lot to say, the game looks fucking fantastic. I am very, very curious and excited for that game. That game looked way more put together than this. And this one has the benefit of honestly kind of aping a lot of the style that came straight out of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly some of that. I guess if you put Ghost of Tsushima and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and made them kiff,
yes,
you would have this game.
Almost entirely, yeah.
Yeah. So, looking forward to see what comes of that down the line, but obviously in early development, and probably won't see it for a year or two at minimum.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Scars Above, which is a new sci-fi action shooter. This is coming from developer Prime Matter and Madhead Games in a united front. Saw this. It looks like basically, a a single-player shooter type adventure. You're probably going to be lonely. You're probably going to be isolated in space. There's going to be weird organic creatures trying to fuck you up. And, a lot of people have drawn comparisons to Returnal, which is the PS5 exclusive game that came out, I think, last year or early this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm not super
I'm
excited
already
for
bored.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been here. We've done this.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Over and over and over and over again.
Like, if Souls-like is starting to get a little tired, roguelike is even more so.
Yep. It has been announced for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, but it has no release date as of yet. Next up, we have Quantic Dreams. Next big thing.
No, god damn it. David Cage, you son of a bitch. What interactive movie are we getting this time?
I gotta confess, I love David Cage games. I really do. I've played every one. I love every one. I get it. They're tedious and annoying, but I like it. I get immersed.
That's fair.
It's like meditative for me. It's like, rotate the stick.
Hold down the R2 button to shave your face.
Yeah, it's like yoga for video game nerds.
Like, press the QuickTime events to actively juggle your son's juggling contact balls. Press all of these different buttons in proper succession in order to properly duck between two electrified wires. David Cage, make a... Oh my god. Motherfucker, you made one good game.
It's fun.
One.
Which one do you think? I'm just interested to hear which one you think is the good one.
I'm going to say probably the first one that they released. The one that has David Bowie's face in it, weirdly.
Is that Indigo Prophecy?
No, this is the one before that.
Which one are you talking about?
Omicron, the Nomad Soul.
I forgot about that one.
You have this weird obsession with David Bowie.
He loves David Bowie.
Okay, it is not an obsession.
You have not known Emery long enough if you don't love him.
It is a proper respect and reverence for the man, the myth, the legend.
David Bowie, Prince. Those are the real big ones.
Hey. Do not besmirch.
Ooh.
They made one good game, and at least then you were trying to make a game that had...
I can't believe you think that's the good one, though. That's a rough game.
Yeah, it's rough. But at least he tried to make, a fighter mixed with the first-person shooter, mixed with, a detective game, as opposed to these, basically an extended string of QuickTime events that lull you into thinking that you're actually doing something.
Press X to cry.
Motherfucker! Every goddamn time, David Cage.
So we should probably talk about the actual game. It's called Under the Waves. Basically, it's David Cage in the sea.
No!
You're going to be taking a submarine deep into the ocean depths and this semi-futuristic, environment where there's holograms and stuff like that, and you're going to be alone with yourself in the deep, dark sea.
It was...
Press X to...
I think I see a sperm whale.
Press X to beat it while you get the bends.
Is that the new form of hanging yourself while jacking off? Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's
depth bends.
It's when you jerk it while rising to the surface too soon. God damn it!
Get the oxygen bubbles in your...
Gotta get there.
Oh, aneurysm.
I'm about to bust, and it's actually just his brain.
YouTube's definitely cutting us now.
We're done.
I don't even know why I'm going to edit
we
this.
should just
It's done.
cut that whole last hour out of this fucking thing. This episode's going to be 18 minutes, and it's just going to be us bitching about killer clowns from outer space.
Yeah, right. God damn it. See, every time, David Cage. Every goddamn time.
Yeah. As I said, I'm a David Cage mark.
Not every David can be Bowie.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right, buddy.
Not every David can be Bowie, but when you make me think that you're actually going to make an actual game, and you fool me into playing as the robot Martin Luther King, kind of. Fucking stop! I don't care how many famous actors you rope into these games, which I'm almost certain is based on a I've got secrets on you basis.
Man, so much vitriol for David Cage.
I'm
Emery.
mad.
Well, like I said, I'm a David Cage mark in terms of his creations, not the person himself, but because there's some issues with the person. But I really enjoy his game, so I'm going to look forward to having the feels in the depths of the ocean.
See,
Alone.
Having feels alone in the depth.
I have a lot of feels.
See,
I'm a big fan of Aquaman too.
I'm mad. And it's only because
mad.
I own every single one of his fucking games, thinking that he's going to change. He's never going to change.
You need to leave this relationship, Emery.
It's very abusive.
It's very abusive. Like, I keep thinking I can change him. Maybe if I just buy his game this time.
This will be released in sometime in 2023 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and PC via Steam and Epic Store.
So this game. So I read about this a few months ago.
Before you talk about it, we should probably say the title so people
I'm
know
getting
what
there.
we're talking about.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah. Let him get to it.
For the
All right,
longest time, the game, I thought this was a James Bond ripoff, and I couldn't figure out why James Bond wasn't in there. And then I realized it was Moonbreaker, not Moonraker. Because in the font, if you look close enough,
Yeah.
and you're dyslexic,
I can see it.
That's getting
And you're-
real close.
and you're dyslexic. Yeah, I was like, this is the weirdest fucking
James Bond
James
game?
Bond kick that I've ever seen in my life. What
like-
the fuck does this have to do with James Bond?
It's like James Bond meets Flash Gordon for some reason.
Flash.
King of the Impossible.
And I'm pretty sure that's a space bunny in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's robotic space bunnies. It's not like
So,
lewd space bunny like
I was
Final
like,
Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
Hey, they tried.
But yes, this is an interesting game coming from Subnautica Studios. It's interesting in that it's a miniature RPG, but not like based on anything. It's a brand new tabletop game that's going to be digital. It seems weird.
Weemos again?
Weebos.
Weebos?
Or-
Weebos?
Yeah.
See, here's the even weirder thing about this. It's not based on anything. But they roped in author Brandon Sanderson of Mistborn fame.
What?
For some reason, Brandon Sanderson is attached to this game.
I did not know that.
So I'm very interested in seeing like what the final game is and how successful it is, but it just seems weird that you would release a digital tabletop game to imagine playing a digital tabletop game that doesn't exist.
This is very weird.
It's a very strange decision.
And Robot Bunny.
May be great.
Robot Space Bunny.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll try anything once, I guess.
But it will be coming to Steam, and of course, like all Steam games, will have some weird early access phase that's goes on for 2 or 3 years, so we'll see.
Forever Beta.
Next up, we talked about sequels that I never expected to see.
Yeah.
Homeworld 3 debuted a trailer. Homeworld is an old PC strategy game series where you play basically you lead this fleet through 3D space and some kind of space battle or space mission, whatever the case is. Really cool game, really cool concepts. This game looks pretty cool from the trailer. But again, who was asking for this?
Nobody, but I will absolutely play this because I love strategy games personally. And oddly enough, I never got into the Homeworld games.
Yeah, they're
when
fun.
I was a kid. But I love strategy games, either fucking Civilization or Age of Empires, or even there was this one Star Wars Empire at War. which was another space-based strategy game, which I fucking loved and played the shit out of. So I'm excited for this. This will be a good time waster.
Yeah, for sure. So for you PC Master Race people out there, that's coming via Steam and Epic Games Store in the first half of 2023. So look forward to that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the type of game that will slowly build its fan base, but just at that same time slowly just become like one of the biggest games.
Right.
All right, next up, this is furries versus furries. I mean, friends versus friends.
No, you had it right the first time.
This is coming versus the developer Brainwash Gang, which is suspiciously being released by publisher Raw Fury.
Why does it look like Gumball from the fucking Cartoon Network is in this game?
This looks terrible.
Yeah,
Everything about this is bad.
it's like pastel colors with weirdly,
Yeah, people
I
keep
want to say
saying
bisexual lighting for some reason.
bisexual lighting. What?
I know exactly what you mean, and you're right. I don't know how to describe it other than, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
and is that a fucking brain in the middle of it?
I think it might be.
That tiger's brain. There's another fucking bunny, because that's a thing right now. And
Yeah, it's a bunch of anthropomorphic, animals shooting each other and using magic cards.
I don't...
This is the kind of
This
art
is-
that
no.
I would think that Calvin, after he no longer has Hobbes around, would start drawing because he hasn't dealt with, his issues.
This is bad.
Yeah, like you were saying, Emery, like they describe it as neon colored. This is not neon. This is like Easter egg pastels. Like,
Absolutely.
it looks horrible. It's very aesthetically gross, and like the fact that there's a bunch of furries in it just makes it worse.
Yeah,
Literally assaulting my senses just
and
looking
it's
at
one of
this
those
thing.
things where the more I look at it, the worse it gets. Like, I keep seeing more things that are just terrible.
Well, the big thing is like nothing pops
I don't-
out. Like it all
yeah.
blends together because the colors are so mushed.
I don't know what the fuck that, like, teal thing in the middle is supposed to be, but its arm is... What the fuck's wrong with its arm? It's, like, bending the wrong way. It's stupid fucking long. He's pointing a gun at a moose.
This is what happens
This
when
is-
your art lacks contrast.
This is
and
what happens
focus.
when your artist has an aneurysm or a stroke or both at the same time.
While masturbating to furries.
Oh, probably accurate.
All right, canceled again. Hit the books, everybody. Next up on the news, we have Stranded: Alien Dawn, which is a new sci-fi survival strategy game. Which, again, how many sci-fi survival games
I
do we
was
need?
literally about to say, you know what we need? We really need another sci-fi survival game.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Really
I mean,
cornered the market there.
This one does look a lot more polished than the other ones that we've talked about so far, but yeah, I don't know how many people are asking for this.
I liked survival games. The first, like, 3 or 4 that I played. But just like any other trend, this trend needs to fucking settle down. It's been going on for like 7 years now.
Yeah, and very similar to all the other survival games that have been coming out, that it's going to be on Steam
Yeah.
early access in October
And
2022, and it will be on Steam early access forever.
This is another forever beta, just like every other fucking survival game.
Yeah.
Because people play it for a little while and then get bored and move on, just like every other fucking survival game.
Yep.
Yeah. See,
Basically, the only way you have a chance to survive is if you have big floppy dicks and like you can make YouTube poop out of it.
Rust.
Yep.
Why
Yep.
are you like this?
That's basically the only way you'll survive in this space.
See, this game makes me think of the show Terra Nova. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think of that in both. Yeah, these look polished. These look like they're probably good, but I don't care.
And that's why Terra Nova only lasted 1 season.
Exactly.
Next up, we have the Outlast Trials, which, yes, is based on the Outlast series.
Oh, no.
It is a multiplayer survival horror.
Another one.
Another one.
Thank you, DJ Khaled.
This is being developed by Red Barrels, of course. And it had a pretty cool trailer, but, do we need a multiplayer survival horror series from Outlast?
No, we don't.
Probably not.
Like, we're trying to compete with the top, which is Dead by Daylight.
Get
we're all
over
gonna
it.
fucking fail.
Yep. So, it's set in your typical, experimental hospital set piece area, and you're going to survive and kill other players.
However, to quote Bo Burnham, they'll stop beating this dead horse when it stops producing money.
The problem with video games, though, is it stops producing money in the middle of the development phase.
That is true.
And so usually by the time you get to the release phase, you're fucked.
That is a very valid point. And yes, you are correct.
Yeah. That's why you should never jump on a bandwagon late in the video game industry. For the love, quite honestly, you shouldn't jump on a bandwagon at all, because if it's a bandwagon now, you already missed it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Unless you were already like 90% done, you're done.
Yeah.
Learn the lesson.
Yeah, you're done.
Learn the lesson we all learned from Cyberpunk 2077. Never pre-order. Never.
But then you won't get the awesome horse armor.
I swear to God. They even told you it's useless.
We don't know the full platform list, but it's expected to come to PC via Steam very soon for its closed beta, which will be held from October 28th to November 1st of this year.
And then it'll be in open beta until the game goes dark.
Yep.
Yeah. Next up, we got another look at The Expanse, a Telltale series. So, of course, this is based on the show The Expanse.
Which I still need to watch.
I've seen like some of the first season.
I heard it's really good, but
it's interesting. It's written from the perspective of we really want to be accurate in how like space would work.
Yeah. That's why at my last job, there was one of the guys I worked with who was really big into this, and he was also a big like science nerd.
Yeah.
So he loved it, and he read the books too because it's based off a series, and he absolutely loved it. So I watched the first episode, and yeah, it was good. But yeah, I just have. It's one of those shows that's on my list, and it'll probably be on my list for another 3 years before I finally get to it.
Yeah. So we definitely need to get around to that, of course. And again, Telltale making games about properties they don't own. So we'll probably see a repeat of their fall and bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Don't understand how they're still around.
So I highly recommend anybody that purchases this game buys it physically. So
Yes.
when it's removed from the virtual stores eventually, you'll still have a copy to play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have some value in it too. Let's see here. This is being co-developed by Deck 9, who is the Life is Strange developer. So interesting to see that. And it is slated for summer of 2023 on PC and, of course, all consoles. Probably last gen included, much like the new Tales of the Borderlands. And that's basically all of the major news that came out of Gamescom. So a lot of games there. Like we said, I think big takeaways.
Why did you have to stop on Killer Clowns? You're
Just for
scrolling
you.
up,
Just
and
for
you
you.
still fucking stopped at Killer Clowns. An asshole.
Don't worry, Emery. I got one for you, too.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
You're not ready for it.
See, bitch,
Don't-
I might be.
Don't read notes. Don't read the top of the screen.
No, I have one thing to bring up
Okay.
that actually does circle back to and tie into an earlier announcement coming.
Killer Clowns?
No, not from Killer Clowns, goddammit. This is directly having to do with Sony, who at Gamescom announced that they had a new controller, a new Elite controller to compete with. Like all of the Xbox Elites who have their own Elite controller, we have our like DualSense Edge, which is supposed to be hip and cool and tough. Meanwhile, the other thing that was announced, I don't think it was directly at Gamescom, but
It was right after.
It was
like intentionally right
it
after.
was intentionally right after. Sony raised the price of the PS5.
Yeah, basically every territory except for the U.S. And they quoted that issues with currencies internationally is driving most of it.
Yeah.
Which is fair because the euro right now is less than the dollar, which is
it
incredible.
It hasn't been that way for like at least a decade or two.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah. It's kind of nuts. But I'm sure there's some
corporate greed.
Thank you. Involved here. Of that, I have little doubt, but I think there is some valid, concerns there. And the fact is, they're selling every one that they can make immediately. Like, you still can't find one in most places, so I guess there's no incentive to lower it.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Well, here's the thing to even further go along with that.
Yeah.
Because it's funny that you mentioned that the prices are being raised in the UK. Because there's also a class action lawsuit that's happening with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
A class action lawsuit that's going into what I believe is $6 billion.
Yeah. And it's basically they're saying some kind of predatory behavior on their PlayStation Store. We did talk in the past. I don't know how many episodes ago now, probably like 5 or 6. But we did talk about in the past how it used to annoy me that they did the stereotypical, oh, you got to put a certain amount of money on our store, but you can't dictate the exact amount of the game you're purchasing, so there's always a balance on your fucking account, which makes you want to spend more money just to get rid of it. Yeah, and that only changed very recently, and I wonder if that's part of the lawsuit as well.
I'll tell you right now, Microsoft still hasn't fucking changed, because I just had to my daughter wanted to buy mine coins, so I had to add money to her account, and the minimum you can do is $10.
Yep. That's so annoying.
So,
it's so fucking frustrating.
And the best part is you can buy, the prices of the packs of mine coins are either $4.99 or $4.99 or $9.99, which guess what? After tax is $10.23, and the minimum you can put on is $10 fucking dollars.
Yep.
So you have to put in, and you can only do it in increments of $10. So you have to do $20 for 23 cents.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah,
and
the other wrinkle in what's happening with Sony, which might also be part of the class action lawsuit, is that it's I think one of the items that's mentioned in the lawsuit is the predatory nature of the amount that they take from every game sold.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, they're
which we just saw both Apple and Google Play Store get sued for this.
Right.
Pay out big bucks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think Sony is taking like 30% for like every game.
Which was kind of the standard, Again, Apple and Google were both doing that,
Right. Yep. And we'll see if the lawsuit goes through. That all depends on what it is that they bring to court. But
yeah, I imagine this lawsuit is more likely intention to be like, all right, here's a big threat. Settle with us for like a fraction of it.
Yeah,
and
settle out of court.
So we'll go
I'll settle out of court for $20.
Because I think with all of these, as predatory as it is, there's no law against it.
Right.
They can charge whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. If you don't want to pay it, then don't use their game store.
Capitalism.
So if they really wanted to push, they would probably win the lawsuit. But they probably spend just as much money winning the lawsuit.
It's absolutely about a settlement. 90% of fucking class action lawsuits are about settlements. They don't give a shit about winning the case. They just want the fucking money.
Oh yeah. Most of those class action lawsuits usually end up getting settled out of court because they're trying to avoid at all costs the court of public opinion.
Exactly. 100%.
And then we also talked about a few weeks ago, it might have been on the Lost episode, where they're also getting sued in Brazilian court.
Yes.
Because,
oh my God.
Because they're paying game makers not to release their games on other platforms.
Oh,
they're not paying you to be exclusive on their platform, just like their competitors.
Yeah.
Like, just do us a favor. Don't release on their platform. Here's a few grand.
It was Sony.
Oh my God.
Sony was that one was slightly different. That was Sony suing Microsoft, I believe, or Microsoft suing Sony. One of the two. It was the two of them that were
not good enough about it.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was Microsoft suing Sony.
Yes,
I think you're right.
But which is why it was being handled in Brazilian court as opposed to either the United States or Japan, because it was a neutral third-party country.
Right.
So, because if you did it in fucking the United States court, clearly Microsoft's going to win. Or if you do it in Japan's court, clearly
Sony's gonna win. Yeah.
So they did it in Brazil.
Yep.
Neutral territory.
Which is weird because Brazil's not known for being like anti-corrupt at all.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, I guess.
Like all of
I guess.
all of South America, they're completely on the level.
Yeah, I guess they wanted a country that's not seen as Western, even though technically, Latin America is Western.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure those judges can't be bought at all.
Speaking of cocaine,
It's not like FIFA has a notorious reputation of the Brazilian team paying
Right.
certain things off. Moving on.
Moving on.
Copyright strike.
Colombia.
I'm sure Pele won all those championships very legitly. Okay.
Yeah,
He's a
don't-
great soccer player.
We do not need
Football.
to draw the ire of Booger Sugarland.
Well, we already shit all over Colombia, so
Yep.
Brazil can get it too. Hit the books.
Yeah,
Like
that's
and
right.
subscribe. Next up on the news, Netflix has officially killed Resident Evil after one season.
Good.
I haven't watched it. I have not watched it,
Thank you.
but
You're the reason it got canceled. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know. Have you seen it? Is it good?
No,
Okay. Fair. No, you haven't seen it, or no,
I
it's
have
not good.
both. But
Okay,
no, I haven't seen it, but everybody says it's bad.
I've volunteered as tribute, and it's dumb. It's real bad.
All right.
It belonged on the CW.
I've heard nothing but bad things.
That
but,
that makes me feel better because I have a very strong kind of distaste for Netflix because of the fact that they seem to not give a shit about whether or not a show is good and just cancel it anyway. They have a long history of canceling shows that are actually doing pretty fucking well.
Right.
So
and giving more seasons to shitty shows.
exactly. So that's what I assumed when I heard this because Netflix is just being Netflix and let's cancel fucking everything. They're like the fucking acts of Zaslav all over again. But no, the fact that it's actually terrible, at least it's a reasonable cut this time.
Yeah. The one time that canceling is done for the good of literally everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, speaking of the acts of Zaslav, we have the Zaslav-driven organization doing crazy cocaine things again. The producer, Dan Lin, is in negotiations to lead the next phase of DC at Warner Brothers Discovery. However, there are currently major obstacles, such as Lin's current obligations to a handful of Disney projects, notably Lilo and Stitch. Dan Lin, not known for a whole lot, so interesting that they're really trying to tap him to be their Feige for the future of the DC universe. He's famous for producing the Lego Movie and Godzilla King of Monsters, but those are really
Yes.
the biggest things of note.
When I think of the next Kevin Feige, I think of the guy that did Godzilla King of Monsters. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Just fucking go get Michael Bay at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
means
doing
cocaine.
I guess to his credit, the Lego Movie had no reason to be a success at all.
True.
And it was a big success, so he's got that. And who knows? Maybe behind closed doors, he's brilliant, but he just needs the chance to prove it. But it seems like a bad decision and a bad look.
Why is
I
he
don't
currently
think-
handling Lilo and Stitch?
What? They're making a live action
they're-
Lilo and Stitch for Disney
They're
Plus.
making a live action Lilo. Oh
because
my god!
Disney, they got to make a live action of everything that is
Yeah.
even remotely
like
popular.
they did Beauty and the Beast and
Oh, no.
Pinocchio.
Lion King.
Yeah.
The live action Lion King
Yeah,
with
the
real
CG.
true lions.
It still hurts.
And it looks bad. It's like She-Hulk bad. Like,
Which I will say.
why do they look so weird?
Okay. On that note, I will say that when watching the actual episode of She-Hulk, I don't know if they upped the render quality. It doesn't look nearly as bad as the trailers.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, they are notorious for doing, like, ghost updates in the background of their episodes.
Yes.
Like, they edit stuff out and edit stuff
That
in.
is true. However, after watching the first episode, I don't know, maybe it was just me. it looked better than the trailer. The CG did look better.
That's encouraging.
They probably have been doing ghost updates.
They need to.
I mean,
because some of the stuff looks rough.
Well, that's the thing. They're not it's become it's become common news that Disney isn't paying their effects people nearly enough.
Right.
And they're being overworked and underpaid, and those trailers are starting to show that.
Yeah, it's worrisome.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're churning out the content day and night, and they're printing money while they're doing it, so.
Yeah.
And, of course, another Doing Cocaine Comics set of news. Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2 have been officially delayed till 2023.
I think we knew Aquaman was coming because, hey, let's have to reshoot everything that Amber Heard was in.
Yeah, Shazam 2, surprising, because that movie looks pretty much done. It got delayed because of COVID, and, it has goodwill, but at this point, we're several years after the original. Nobody remembers the original, probably.
Right.
Just release the damn thing, please.
I think that we're going to call this the tidal wave of Zaslav.
Yeah.
Because these things just got pushed.
I'm worried that they're trying to do some shenanigans because of the Black Adam movie, and that's why they're pushing it.
You know that, that's probably true.
I'm worried.
They probably heard from 1,000 different people, including Zaslav. Why are these two characters that should have some relation to each other not showing up in each other's movies?
Because we're going to delete them from your conscience.
Absolutely.
Going forward. So, look forward to that. Speaking of Doing Cocaine Comics, in a recent interview, the Sandman creator Neil Gaiman confessed to intentionally sabotaging a previous attempt to develop a Sandman movie, saying the script was the worst script that I've ever read by anybody.
You know what's
clearly you never read Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
You know what's funny about that, and I hate to maybe put his name out there on this. I'm pretty sure when the Sandman was trying to be made into a movie, they were more than anyone else talking to Joseph Gordon-Levitt about doing it. And I mean, this might have been for his benefit to have Neil Gaiman himself sabotage it at every fucking turn.
Yeah, I mean, he did the right thing. I have no doubt. Obviously, we haven't read the script, but I have no doubt that he did the correct thing here, and I praise him for it.
Yeah, he knows better than anyone. There is no such thing as a 2-hour Sandman movie. You need 10 hours.
No, that would be one episode. One very fleshed out episode.
Yes, one expensive episode.
Next up, Warner Bros. Discovery has also been affecting other properties that you wouldn't expect. AEW has been told by their partner company to tone down the language on their weekly shows. AEW has kind of made it a point of being the edgier, more adult-oriented version of wrestling product in the West. WWE has traditionally been the kind of more family-friendly in the current era product, advertisement-friendly product, and they've been going in the opposite direction where they've brought back TV-14 status so they can curse a little bit, so they can be rougher on TV.
This is big dumb.
It's really dumb.
This is big dumb.
It's really dumb.
It's weird that AEW is stepping away from Attitude when WWE is remembering how good Attitude Era was.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Fucking how is this happening?
I had not really watched any wrestling since probably the mid 2000s. I think I stopped around 2005, 2006. But recently I've been in this ADHD hyperfixation where I'm going back and looking up old wrestlers and watching weird shit from the Attitude Era and stuff like that, and I came across the DX reunion for the 1000th episode of Raw, and the fact
is that the one where there's 20 people.
Yeah, it was all
Generation X.
It was all of them. The only one that was missing was China for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But when Road Dogg Jesse James was doing his whole little ladies and gentlemen thing that he always had to do, and he had to bleep out physically bleep himself from saying badass Billy Gunn?
It's so cringe.
Bad beep. Get the fuck out of here.
They were doing that for a while too. Like it's only very recently started to change, and that mostly because Vince McMahon is out for his lawsuits and various
right. But yeah,
salacious activities.
I was like, hey, cool, DX together again. Last time I saw that was like 99, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sure, I'll watch this 5-minute clip, and then I was, what the fuck is this crap?
When you censor Degeneration X, what are you doing?
Right.
Well, we can tell them.
Suck it!
All right. Moving on to the next news story. Again, canceled. Batgirl, the Batgirl production and crew have reportedly announced that they're having a funeral viewing at a WB lot of the final product before WB Discovery officially kills the product and puts it away in a locked vault, so they can write it off as a tax cut.
So how many people are going to be finding this and like bootlegging the video?
That's exactly what I expect. Now, having said that, I'm also wondering if like Zaslav is like, okay, you think it's a great movie, huh? You really think it's good, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me show you the final product.
Yeah.
And then everybody goes silent.
Probably.
Because it would be career suicide to release it. That's kind of like the theory I find most entertaining.
This is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to disappear into nothingness and we're never going to see it again, or there's going to be this cult following fucking hashtag release Batgirl, and they're going to try and make it a fucking Deadpool thing. They're going to try and do like the fucking DC Deadpool, and like next thing you know, you're going to have Ryan Reynolds in a Batgirl costume making some cheap little 10-minute fucking...
It's funny you say that because Ryan Reynolds on Twitter literally made that analogy.
I know. That's where I stole it from. I'm not even gonna lie. That's 100% where I stole it from.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he gets to do that because it fucking works.
And Ryan Reynolds can do that because he is trolling them.
Yeah. And this is like totally a side point, but like, I don't know if you guys followed the Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds,
I love it. It's
continued internet
perfection.
shit posting.
I love it so much.
It's so good. It's my favorite anti-feud.
Did you
Hollywood.
see the during COVID when the X-Men cast got together to do a Zoom reading of part of the script, and Ryan Reynolds popped into the Zoom call,
and literally everyone got out. I was like, oh. Wait, everyone, don't.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Hugh. I was just trying to show up. I heard about it through the grapevine. I don't know why I didn't get an invitation.
Absolutely fantastic.
Top level.
Perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, like he wants to do a Deadpool Wolverine movie so fucking bad.
I want a Deadpool Wolverine movie so bad. Just do it, Hugh. I know you wrote off the character when Logan came out, but for the love of God, just do this one project for me.
There was one point where Hugh Jackman did say that he would consider coming back if he got to work in the MCU.
Oh, God. DC.
But that was a long time ago. That was well before it was ever even established. Feasible. So
Disney, make it
whether
happen.
or not, and if anybody could talk him into it, money-wise, it would be fucking Disney.
Please. I beg
you gave Robert Downey Jr. how much for Endgame? You can give...
Well, we know for sure they're making a Deadpool 3.
Right.
So you would wonder if maybe...
He needs to at least cameo in it. Come on. At minimum, give us a cameo.
I need more than a cameo.
I mean...
I need a Cable-like role for Deadpool 3. Yeah, that's what I need.
No, I'm almost certain that they're probably going to either bring back Cable or they're going to go some other direction because...
Emery!
Look, I don't want to have to say it, but unless we're doing Old Man Logan again, I don't see...
He doesn't look that old. They made him look old on purpose in Logan.
Take a look at him now. I need you to pull up a picture of him right...
If we can make Luke Skywalker...
He has
Look
a
young
point.
again.
Okay.
He has a point.
We can do this, Disney.
We
okay.
have the technology.
Okay,
We can rebuild him.
He would have to only do dubbing. They would have to do a young version of his face on top of a stunt. A stunt man. You'd have to get a stunt man, a fake face, and his voice in the dubbing.
Or because it's
three different
Deadpool,
levels.
you could give him his classic outfit
Yes.
and just have his lower jaw, and you don't even have to worry about it because he's just dubbing everything.
That's fantastic. I like that idea.
I fucking dare them to give him the classic costume.
Fucking do it! Fucking do it!
Brown or yellow?
Brown
or yellow?
Well, the tan and brown, that one.
Yes.
We almost had in the
Yes,
Wolverine.
I know.
We were this fucking close. If they somehow manage to do that, I will even give them extra points if they go with like the yellow and blue.
Please do it.
If for no other reason than you're gonna do X-Men 97 soon, you gotta do some brand synergy. You gotta.
Yes.
Wasn't there? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there like a end scene in one of the Marvel
Yes.
movies where they had like the outfit?
It was
in a drawer or
I'm
something?
pretty sure it was a deleted scene, but yeah, I think it was.
That was blue and yellow, right?
No, it was the brown and tan, I believe.
Yeah, it was
I don't remember. I'll post the picture
it was yellow
on
and
the episode
black.
here on YouTube.
I think the gloves had some brown to them, but it was mostly yellow with black on it.
Don't worry, you don't have to prove it. We're gonna
Okay.
put it on the YouTube.
I can't
episode.
remember, and now he's making me doubt my own memory.
Like,
so.
he's.
I thought it was blue and yellow, so we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, it's funny that we're talking about Wolverine because
I never should have questioned you. It was the brown and yellow.
yeah, there is, this is us. This is a reference to She-Hulk episode 2 that is literally a blink and you miss it moment. There is a moment in which She-Hulk is looking through her computer for something, and like on a website, like one of those classic, like, oh, click on this for like whatever fucking article that, you know, you're not going to fucking read. It says, man with metal claws gets into bar fight.
Are you serious?
Not even kidding. It's actually kind of the big news about episode 2 of She-Hulk.
They're fucking planting the seeds, baby.
Please.
Yeah, they're
Please do it.
They're going to be planting these seeds for a while. Because if what I've heard is true, because of contracts, I don't think that they get to actually do X-Men until like 2025.
What a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You own it. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, technically
Fox
they
can't do anything with it.
Technically, they own it, but the actors who have these contracts, like that, I don't think have been bought out, like for any reason.
buy them out. What are you waiting for? We're getting older, not younger.
That's true.
Fucking help us out.
But like they're definitely looking to have like an all new cast
Yes.
of X-Men.
I would not be surprised
which
if
is
they did
why
all recast.
like
but
it's because of that I am super skeptical of any like
So-
Hugh Jackman reference.
so is it the characters, or is it the fact that they cannot play those characters without the current actors?
I think it's the fact that they cannot play those characters without the current actors.
That would make more sense,
Yeah.
seeing as how they use
Quicksilver.
and they
WandaVision.
that
they did
kind of, sort of. That was a loophole.
as a goddamn joke.
I was gonna say Sir Pat right here. That's what I was gonna mention.
Love you.
I was gonna mention Sir Pat here in Multiverse.
Yeah, like they literally had to do it in a multiverse movie because they want someone who's at least in like their late 50s and not in their
110.
not a fucking 110. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we love you, Sir Patrick Stewart.
But we want you to stay around. We need an actor that's going to stay around for at least 15 or 20 years.
Right, because we got to do this over again.
But you bring up a good point, Nick, bringing up Patrick Stewart, because he's another guy that said, I'm never going to play that role again.
Right, and he did.
And he did. So there's
And
room.
that's why I'm
Disney, are you listening?
That's why I'm thinking that they will bring Hugh Jackman in probably as a cameo, just like they did with Patrick Stewart.
Don't do a cameo, please.
No,
Do more than that. Do a little more.
I think it's going to be classic Deadpool shenanigans, and it's going to be like just a simple cameo. It is probably not even going to be a cameo of Wolverine. It's probably going to be a cameo of Hugh Jackman playing some other random character, and they're going to have simple Deadpool, like, break the fourth wall, like, joke about it.
That makes me so sad.
But you know,
oh my God.
it makes you sad because you know I'm probly right.
See, I dare them to reference Hugh Jackman as like a Broadway star.
That would be fantastic. And again, you know, with Deadpool and the whole breaking the fourth wall thing, you know, there's absolutely going to be some sort of like joke about him singing in Oklahoma or fucking The Greatest Showman or something like that.
Or like deep cut Boy Next Door.
Yeah.
They're going to have like a Mandarin level like twist with Hugh Jackman appearing. He's like naked in his Hollywood studio robe, you know.
Or like they give him the hair, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm just preparing for a movie.
Yeah. Or they do the same ending cameo or the ending scene of from Deadpool 2 where he's in the robe in the costume, but he takes his hood off and it's Hugh Jackman.
Oh, or they just clip footage from a fucking Wolverine movie.
That also would work.
Like they did in Deadpool 2.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So many different ways they could do this.
So many options, and none of them are going to make us happy.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. They've completed so much of my wish list at this point in time. I'm very thankful. But this one, come on.
But you still want more.
Give me this one. Please.
Make my dreams come
Before
true.
they're all too old and they're dead.
Yeah, the last time we got a Deadpool Wolverine together, we don't talk about.
Ooh.
Because
it's like actual Deadpool. No.
X-Men Origins, terrible. We don't talk
okay.
about X-Men Origins.
The one time the video game's better than the movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Although
which, Sony is making a Wolverine video game that looks pretty cool.
Nice.
That's true. Oh my God.
They weren't at Gamescom, but looks cool.
We
give us a teaser trailer.
We still have that cool image of someone like popping claws at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what the hell they do with that.
And it does look very reminiscent of like the Wolverine Origins video game.
Yeah,
so
that was.
I thought that was a smart
that was
decision.
Such a good movie or game, not movie. The movie was terrible.
I'm just gonna clip that and
The best.
I will change your opinion.
The best part about that movie was again Ryan Reynolds' joke about how none of us have bone claws or nails like a bag lady.
Yeah, let's clown on Sabretooth, please.
All right, we should probably move on.
Yeah, probably considering none of that was in the actual show notes.
Yeah,
But we love it.
we do.
Hit the books.
It's so much.
Like and subscribe. Thank you. Next up, Avatar has been removed. I put released on here, but that's completely wrong. Has been removed from Disney Plus prior to the theatrical re-release for the sequel hype build-up. Just thought this was weird. It's probably going to be the future.
You know why they did
we're
it.
Honest.
You know why they did it. Corporate greed. Let's be honest. Why go to a movie and see a movie that you've already seen in the theater when you can just watch it on fucking Disney Plus?
That's fair.
I
I mean, people apparently love that movie, so I guess there's some incentive there.
I've
but-
seen it once, and it was pretty good. I mean,
But
that
I mean,
was
how many
like
people
25, 30 years ago when it came out.
But you would think that like the people who are even a little bit interested in seeing Avatar 2 would want to be able to easily remember what the fuck was going on in that world and go back and watch it. And if you remove the easy way to do that, they won't do it and
That's
they won't
true.
see Avatar 2.
Well, what do you mean, like, easily remember? Like, I've seen that movie at least 4 times. Oh, no, wait. That was, Dances with Wolves. I mean...
Pocahontas?
That was Pocahontas. I mean, that was Fern Gully.
I mean, that was
that
The
was
Last
also...
Samurai.
I also mean that was, the last tail end of the Matrix Revolutions. Guys!
Blue Man Group.
Oh, no!
Arrested Development.
I fucking love that show.
I just blew myself.
Canceled. Again.
David Cross cameo or get the fuck out.
But yeah, this isn't a big news item, but thought that was interesting. A little worrisome for the future.
Yeah.
But I think it might be a poorly calculated decision by Paramount.
The Avatar ride at Disney World's really fun.
I mean, it just sounds like fucking James
There's
Cameron
that.
is salty about Avengers Endgame making more money.
Could be. Speaking of things that made more money, this isn't on the news, but Top Gun surpassed Infinity War.
What the fuck?
What?
Why?
Who is
Because
spending their money on the Top Gun sequel?
all of my extended family, that's who, because they're all obsessed
the
with that
first one's not
fucking
even
movie.
good. It's not even good. Emery. God
How
damn it.
very dare you?
Danger zone.
It's all the shirtless men playing volleyball, isn't it?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's actually a good movie.
Is it better than Infinity War?
It's not better than Infinity War, and it weirdly, this is a movie that was so good that it tricked me into not seeing that they were basically reenacting the Death Star run from Star Wars.
I could tell that from the fucking preview.
I mean,
But I got caught up in the movie. It's good.
he loves Tom Cruise. Look at him.
If you actually go into it with an open mind and let the
We don't have open minds on this show.
just let the pro-military jingoism wash over you. This movie harkens back to a simpler time. A
Yeah.
time when we actually aspired to be people who flew around planes that were weirdly out of date. What the?
Why not?
How? Oh my God. Okay.
Kenny Loggins, get in there.
This was Kenny Loggins. I was completely blinded that they play the song Danger Zone in the intro, and like I let the rest of the movie slide because it brought something back. I don't know what it was.
It awakened things in him
Hey,
that he
hey.
didn't realize.
Hey. Look, some respect has to be paid for the fact that they managed to put Val Kilmer in a movie despite his current condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and send your lewd Top Gun fan art
Hey,
to
hey,
Emery.
hey, no.
Here at HitTheBooksVids,
No.
VIDS at gmail.com.
No,
Thank you.
no. The only...
Can we have Tom Cruise fucking Val Kilmer's like throat hole?
How fucking dare you, person who actually served in the fucking military?
That's my personal request to any fan artists out there. Thank you.
If anyone would have maybe at least a modicum of respect for the premise of this movie, I thought it would be you.
I was in the Army. I wasn't in the Air Force.
How could you?
But yeah, I have no doubts that it's not a great movie. I just don't see it as an Infinity War 10 years of build-up level success story.
I mean, it's not, but look, the numbers don't lie. A lot of people really liked watching that movie.
There's a lot of filthy rednecks out there that love them some Tom Cruise and some Mavericks. I'm gonna go see that Mavericks movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just that there's nothing else to see. I don't know.
I mean, yes, we were definitely
It's either that or superhero movies. What you want?
That's true.
Like we were in a dry spell. The superhero fatigue was kind of setting in.
Yeah.
They really didn't have anything else blockbuster or big budget in the theater at the time. And it was dumb fun.
Yeah.
It was really, really dumb fun that has one really cool moment of him flying.
I have to see it now, so is it a spoiler?
It happens within like the first 10 minutes. There's a really cool fucking plane that he flies at the beginning, and like there's a certain like threshold of G's that he's not supposed to pass, but it's Maverick.
Of course.
Of course. And
Did you see that thing where they tricked China into thinking that we had a new prototype plane that was featured in the movie?
No, I didn't hear.
They literally adjusted their satellites over
my
our
God.
airfields to try to spy
That's
on it and
fantastic.
capture it because they saw it in the trailer for the Top Gun movie.
The one thing that I will give the Top Gun movie is the fact that they... Okay, so this is a huge waste of money and military resources.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's kind of cool in the fact that they actually had Tom Cruise in the navigator seat in these fucking planes, filming him actually going through G-force.
Oh, yeah, like
You know.
the maneuvers that they pull are fucking real.
Well, you
Or
heard
at the very
he
least-
wanted to fly it.
Yeah,
like he wanted
because
to be the
he's
one flying
fucking
it.
insane.
And the
Tom
studio's
Cruise,
like, no.
Tom
You're not
Cruise
flying a
is
$45 million
fucking
jet.
Yeah.
psychopath.
Like he's a psycho that he does everything he can to ride right up to the line of being uninsurable by studios, which is usually the thing that gets you blackballed because you cost too fucking much.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that, as a former military member, drives me crazy about the concept of this movie is that he's been in the military now for, like 20 years, and he's the same rank.
Yeah.
You don't get to stay in the military at the same rank for 20 years. Either they kick you out or you get promoted. Like, you don't have the option.
They
But he plays by his own rules.
Yeah.
they address
He's
that.
too good. We can't get rid of him.
That's like literally one of the questions that they ask, and they do it in a derogatory sense. It's like, why the fuck are you still a captain?
Yeah, he would be gone. He would have been booted a long time ago if he was so unpromotable.
Yeah.
See, here's the weird thing is like the structure of the story, it plays like a fucking Marvel movie. That's the thing. That's the whole thing about this is that they basically aped the Marvel style of making a movie, but without paying money to make him look like he has superpowers. They just basically turned him into Hal fucking Jordan.
All right.
They turned him into
not a bad thing.
Hal Jordan Green Lantern, but without, the whole Green Lantern part.
DC, this is not an invitation for you to hire Tom Cruise to be Hal Jordan Green
Fucking
Lantern.
go for it. Who cares?
Shut the fuck up, Nick. They will do it.
I heard you wouldn't. I heard you wouldn't.
Oh,
No!
I raised you right. That's right. Bet, DC.
But yeah,
Bet.
we just went on an unplanned Top Gun spiral for 15 minutes, so we should probably move on.
No, that wasn't a
probably.
spiral. That was a barrel roll.
I
Do
hate
a barrel
you.
roll.
I hate you. That was so lame.
Fox, do a barrel roll.
No!
Speaking of
Slippy!
Slippy's the character that you masturbate to in Under the Sea, the David Cage game.
Fox, help!
God, this episode's so dumb.
I could do this all day.
Next up, we have Sony reportedly announced they were working on Days Gone and Horizon movies based on their exclusive video games. Days Gone, are you sure? Are you sure about that one? The game is not particularly well reviewed. I don't know if you've seen some of the clip art, but
No.
it's like, what was that motorcycle game? Road to Redemption?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? That really bad one?
I'll take projects I have no interest in for 500, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, some of the scenes from that game are like Road to Redemption level bad.
Road to Redemption level bad, but trying to like have all of the feel of what if the main character from the Sons of Anarchy was just kind of on his own during like a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean,
it's dumb.
The concept is okay, but like you're riding this loud ass motorcycle with these huge hordes of zombies coming after you. Like they can't hear you.
It worked for Daryl.
Why wasn't this a Daryl from Walking Dead game?
I honestly
It
wonder
probably
if it
would have
was.
done better.
Yeah, it probably
They
would've.
just couldn't get the rights. So just like that fucking Dr. Morbius movie that was on Mystery Science Theater, they couldn't get the rights, so they turned it into Days Gone instead of Daryl's fucking motorcycle extravaganza.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be proven completely wrong, and they'll make a
Probably
great
not.
movie out of it.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Well, I think that,
It's Morbin time.
I think that's all going to depend on how The Last of Us, the HBO series, does.
Yeah, and that actually looks pretty cool. I am excited for that HBO series, but again, Warner Brothers Discovery.
In a shocking twist of events, they get Norman Reedus to play the main character in Days Gone.
Ooh, that'd be a fucking twist. That'd be a fucking twist.
It's probably
oh
the only way
God.
they could redeem it.
His name is Peril Pixon.
Just in time for the end of the Walking Dead series, too.
Name's Peril Pixon, no relation.
However, I think the Horizon movie is an excellent choice to make like a big budget, like blockbuster movie about like big fucking robot dinosaurs. Like, fuck yeah.
Green screen the movie.
Yeah, this is.
Don't hire Michael Bay.
I
please.
mean, we
Like,
already saw this movie. It was called Pacific Rim,
Thank you.
sir. We can always use
and it
more.
was terrible the first time.
Pacific Rim. They have like big robots. They're fighting each other. You're not a big robot. You're a little like
You're an archer.
archer lady,
You're an archer fighting robo-dinos.
and it's awesome.
Why does this work?
This does not sound like a movie I will ever want to see.
like,
I want to see it.
yeah, the
Hawkeye versus Mechagodzilla is not a fucking thing.
But it's hot redhead Hawkeye.
So it's Merida from Brave versus.
Yes, and it's awesome. Play the games. It's great.
I do this for the clan and for the family.
And there is. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who has not played the games, but if you've not played the games, there is like a cool kind of backstory and lore to everything, which it makes sense as much as a game about future robot dinosaurs versus a woman with a bow and arrow.
It's like
Can
So none?
yeah.
0.1%.
The entire sequel completely rides on hoping people actually paid attention to that part of the story.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, they did the Uncharted movie, which I was very lukewarm on, but people seem to like it, surprisingly. I just think they cast it poorly.
Yeah.
But-
You see, the part of the story that I'm assuming they're hoping that they get to is the part of the story that weirdly reminded me of like the Desmond Miles part of Assassin's Creed, where things get really weird and we're really into like the Apple of Eden and like the precursor people and yeah.
I mean, it's not that weird. It's weird, but it's not that weird.
We'll see.
There's cults.
We'll
But
see.
yeah.
I wish there weren't cults.
Okay.
Guys, can we stop?
All right.
There's always cults. There will always be cults.
Hit the Books is a cult. Would you like to join?
Have we told you about our Lord and Savior David Cage?
We have a shrine of Pat Stew, David Cage, Edgy the Hedgy, and Tom Cruise throat fucking his co-star. That's what we can do.
Hit the books.
Quality content for all. And then the last one. This is actually a big news story. It puts a lot of fear in my heart. But
shit.
Embracer Group is purchasing the rights to Middle-earth Enterprises, which is the ownership group of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit franchises and basically all of J.R. Tolkien's work, with the intent to make new movies and video games. A lot of people thought Amazon was going to just outright buy them because of their series. Nope. They got outbid by an Embracer Group and will likely purchase for a price of $800 million, which is, lower than I would think. Notably, Embracer Group recently purchased 3 Square Enix developers and development studios, so I imagine they're going to use the Lord of the Ring products for video games almost immediately.
Tolkien is doing somersaults in his grave right now.
Yeah.
Somebody hit the bad motherfucker alert. Somebody outbid Amazon.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Mind you, I get it. That's a fucking gold mine right there.
Absolutely it is. But I cannot even imagine what Tolkien would think about this. The fact that his entire, life's work was just bought by a fucking corporation.
Yeah, and I think that there's possibly a valid reason why Amazon wouldn't outbid them, besides that the new show might be terrible. But I think that it's going to be public domain in probably about 10 years, roughly. Superman's public domain in 2033, and I think Lord of the Rings came out around the same time. So
yeah, we're getting to that level.
Yeah,
I think
Hobbit came out in the 30s, I think.
So I think Superman was 1929.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of value right now, but once it becomes public domain, you're kind of fucked.
True.
Yeah.
So
And that's probably why it only sold for $800 million.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, especially with their intent to make not just video games, but movies as well. I think that speaks to like what Embracer Group's plan is going to be with this going forward. I think they're going to reboot the whole goddamn thing.
Well, I
That's
don't know.
a terrible idea.
I mean, it's
I
a
can-
terrible idea because those fucking movies were fantastic.
The Hobbit movies were fucking terrible.
Okay.
They're fucking
The
terrible. I'm
Hobbit
sorry.
movies are not what we're talking about here. We're
Anybody
talking
that
about
reads
the Lord
the
of
books,
the Rings.
they're terrible.
Here's the thing.
Ugh.
The Hobbit movies are okay. In comparison to Lord of the Rings, yes, the quality is significantly less and they rely way too much on CG. However, comparing The Hobbit to the Lord of the Rings is kind of a detriment considering The Hobbit was made for children.
The
Lord
Hobbit
of the
was
Rings
also a
not.
book about this big,
Yes.
and they made it into 3 movies.
Yeah.
With a bunch of shit that wasn't in The Hobbit.
No. Yeah, you're right. However, again, I think the Hobbit movies are okay. They're decent. I still watch them every once in a while. I don't think they're terrible. They did just.
I won't say they're terrible, but compared to Lord of the Rings, it's like insulting.
Exactly.
Not good.
That's the biggest thing. In
Yeah.
comparison to Lord of the Rings, yes, it's not even fucking close.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord of the Rings movies were done fantastically.
Those movies are unimpeachable.
However, that is a very, very high bar to set when you then go in to try and corporate greed it up and make even more money.
Exactly.
Right. I think that's
This isn't Batman.
They're
you can't make 12 of them.
Yeah. However, I still enjoy the Hobbit movies. I think they're fun. I think they're, yes, I realize Legolas should not be in the Legolas should not be in
and
the
the Hobbit
fucking-
movies focus almost like exclusively on the dwarves.
Yeah.
Which is
There's-
not the book does not focus on the dwarves hardly at all. There's a part of the book where they go off and fight a war by themselves,
Right.
And you have no
Yeah.
idea until they come back and tell you at the end of the book.
Right.
It's almost like the book The Hobbit
Yeah.
is supposed to focus on the Hobbit.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But they were fun. They were enjoyable. I mean, I'll pick the fucking Hobbit movies over fucking Maverick or any day.
Sir, that's $1 billion franchise. All right.
Danger Zone.
But yeah, it's definitely worrisome as a fan because you're like, okay, how much damage are you gonna do?
A lot.
But they
A
could.
lot.
I think if they focus on the video games, they'll be in good
Yes.
ground. It's really hard to get bad will from a bad video game. Like no one's gonna care if you fucked it up.
Right.
But I think if they start making the movies like they say they intend to, and more detail on this in the interviews, they were talking about making like Aragorn and Gandalf like solo movies about like things they did in the lore on the side that like not in the main story of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, stuff that's buried in the compendiums and the Silmarillion and stuff like that.
Terrible idea.
Yeah,
But
I really don't need a movie about Gandalf like having a whole fucking adventure from the point where he says to Bilbo, keep this ring secret or not to Bilbo, to Frodo, keep the ring secret, keep it safe.
We have a movie of him just reading for 2 hours.
What the fuck is this ring?
I have a feeling that they're going to do like a solo Solo-esque, like Solo from Star Wars, a Solo-esque version of Aragorn, like the time between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, where he's growing up with Elrond and all that stuff.
Which could be interesting,
Yeah.
or could be absolutely terrible, and nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. The problem with The Lord of the Rings is if you want to use like the same aesthetics like the Amazon series is, and it's kind of worrisome that they are, because they're like making it seem like it's the same universe as
Right.
Peter Jackson, but it's not.
Yeah.
Is that you got to use the same Elrond if you go like into the past or into the future, and he's
Right.
gonna be old.
And he's
like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Gandalf too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hugo's already said that he's not interested in doing Elrond again anyway. So
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but time's ticking, man. Like they
Right.
got to do it quick to make that money back.
We'll see what they come up with.
Yeah.
And
Like I
very
said-
quickly say either yes or no, because those Lord of the Rings movies are going to be so near and dear to literally everyone.
I mean, you're talking about movies that literally came out over 2 decades ago and still look phenomenal, and still like they have not aged. They are
yeah, this is
perfection
What happens,
incarnate.
this is what happens when you shoot on film.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if you can maintain film, the quality is fucking pristine.
So 2032 is when The Hobbit and the characters in The Hobbit will be public domain. So obviously that includes Gandalf, Bilbo, dwarves, Elrond. But it looks like they have a little more time for Lord of the Rings itself. It looks like it's 2050 for Lord of the Rings. So
All right. So yeah, they still have like
they got a little time. But
like
again, like
27
people can
years,
use
yeah.
Gandalf, so, which is a big character. If you're counting the Hobbit movie, you have Legolas. Like,
Oh,
you know.
God.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's kind of fun to think about, what's going on behind the scenes when they're making these decisions and throwing their big dick on the table in front of Amazon, saying nope. But we'll see where this goes. All right, that wraps up all the news for this week. There's been a lot of it, obviously. So let's jump into the prestigious, nay, life-changing award of Comic Cover of the Week. There you go. What do you think, Emery? It's beautiful. So in my personal endeavor to troll Emery, I brought up the Hellfire Gala cover for Gambit 2, where he's got a saucy boy in
I like the
semi-bondage attire.
The windows on the side of his pants that show
It's
off
so you
his
can see
cut
the dick
lines.
root. You got the dick root in there. If you would like to send Emery your lewd Gambit fan art,
No!
please shoot us an email at HitTheBooksVids,
Don't
at gmail.com.
you dare.
Thank you.
The only thing that gives me hope for this comic at all is who it's written by. Did you see who the writer is?
Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
That's a fairly good writer who's done some great things.
Old school 90s X-Men writer Chris Claremont, who I was almost certain was being paid by Marvel to just not write for anyone
However-
else.
They were.
However,
That is true.
look at those pepperoni nipples.
Oh,
God.
sauce. Look at that chest, Emery. He's
I-
got an 8-pack.
I hate this. This is torture.
By the way,
I-
Russell Dodderman, this is not an attack on your skills as an artist. The artwork is very skillful, very good. But we hate the idea that we just made a lewd boy Gambit at the Hellfire Gala for our cover.
The fucking cut line windows on the pants are just ridiculous.
This-
I personally like his 16 chains around his neck. Hot, so hot. Okay, that's not the real cover of the week, so we'll move on. So Emery
Fucking thank you.
doesn't have a stroke here.
God damn it. Marvel. What the... Okay, Marvel.
Speaking of Marvel, the prestigious, nay, life-changing award of cover of the week goes to Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood, number 4, the Lozano variant cover. This, of course, done by Alexander Lozano. So this is a great looking cover where they're using a very nice use of contrast between the main Moon Knight form and the red, obviously blood background that the title alludes to. Has a lot of cool details. It looks like, I would obviously have to see the raw illustration to know, but it looks like they didn't do a whole lot of hardline illustration on this. It looks like they used the color to really outline the muscular details, the outline of the body, which I always appreciate. It's much harder to do that than it is to, rough outline something and then fill it in with, cell shades or something. Really cool, really action focused, plays with perspective, which is always a great thing to make it pop on the shelf. I have no doubt that this will catch a lot of eyes on the bookshelves out there at your local comic book shops.
Again, please support your local comic book. Marvel, why are you like this? Why do we have Lewd Boy Gambit with the fucking Hellfire cover?
I think we need to reboot Emery.
The Hellfire,
We've broken him.
The Hellfire Gala from its inception was a fucking mistake.
Well, we've done it twice now.
We've done it twice, which in comic book context of how time passes doesn't make any fucking sense. And yet this cover's so fucking good for Moon Knight. What the fuck, Marvel?
You're welcome.
I
Love you. Hashtag Marvel.
Son of a bitch. What?
But again, great job, Alexander Lozano. You really deserve the prestigious nay life-changing award of Cover of the Week for episode 63. All right, everybody. I think that wraps up everything. Of course, as always, please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and rate well elsewhere. It really, really helps us out. Always check us out on Twitter at HTBVids, Facebook, facebook.com/HitTheBooks. Our website is htbvids.com. And, of course, you can always find us on YouTube here. If you want to send your Lewd Boy fan art of various forms that we suggested, please email us at HitTheBooksVids, @gmail.com. We did notice recently that a few people were direct messaging us in the past. Unfortunately, if you don't follow us and we don't follow you on Twitter, Twitter filters it so I can't see it unless I manually go in and look at messages pending approval. And it doesn't tell me who, it doesn't give me like a brief or anything. It's just blind. So I recently discovered this while looking at Twitter on my PC as opposed to my phone, which I usually do. And I saw that there were several people reaching out for us to review some stuff, and some people asking for some if we had any interest in some business trades. So again, if you've been trying to reach out to us on social media, make sure you follow us or whatever so that we can actually see it. And if you prefer, use the email HitTheBooksVids@gmail.com, because I do check that every day, and we do respond to the people on those. We did a long time ago now because we've reset the show, but say like 2019, 2020, we had somebody email us and to do a review. Good comic. I'd have to go back and dig it up, but obviously they had success. So if you're trying to reach us on social media via DM, you're probably going to struggle to get a hold of us because we won't see that notification unless you follow us. But you can always add us on Twitter. If you add us, it's almost guaranteed I'll see it almost immediately. So definitely be proactive with the way you reach out if you are interested in any kind of business relation or any kind of review materials or anything like that. And of course, you can always check out Those Natural Ones on Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/Those Natural Ones, plus the streams that your team does with video game streaming. So
yeah, we'll have more pop-up streams coming up shortly. We just did a short little 2-episode thing of our resident druid, Sam, did a little off-character stream of the game The Mortuary Assistant, which was fucking terrifying. And yeah, lots of jump scares. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so definitely look forward to that. Check that out. We'll have links in the descriptions of the show notes and everything. So take advantage of that. Again, want to thank you very much for watching and listening. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye now.
Lewd Boy Gambit, really? Fucking come on.
HitTheBooksVids@gmail.com. Thank you.
No.
God damn it. Emery. I thought this was going to be like throwaway news that would speed up the show, and now I want to watch it.
Oh, what can I say? I'm a good salesman.
Damn it. Why aren't you selling our show?
I tried.
We're that bad.